I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them in, chalk up their body, another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, how to stay on the go. I came to play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me, then I double up again under their nose. None of them cold, they just got lucky but never adapted, so I'm to the one if it's coming to blows. My enemies cutting it close, I let them think that they got me, but what do you know? I had them beat before we ever spoke, I'm ready for smoke. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now they ain't go harder than me, they need a blade in a sheath, a shank in a piece, a crate full of heat, an army, a fleet, a tank and a jeep, a navy at sea, with ace a marine, an ace up their sleeve, a team of marines, a freak on a leash, a beast with an appetite, razor for teeth, and still they would lay at my feet. Boy, you got the wrong one. I gotta look over all of my publishing statements for Q1 as soon as the song's done. I gotta call up my mama and tell her I made it as soon as my log's done. I gotta read all my trade publications and sip my tea till it is all done. I think it's all fun. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them in, chalk up their body, another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane.
Everything is twofold. What's joy is pain on the other hand. And what happens when the one that you love is the main cause of your suffering? I need you like I need air to breathe. I need you to save me from all of your lies, 'cause you're my demon in disguise. I learned to love the cage you keep me in, but the walls keep closing in, and I don't wanna die, but your poison feels so right. Why do I want you when you're bad for me? My perfect storm, my beautiful catastrophe. My perfect storm, my beautiful catastrophe. I'm drowning with all of this darkness surrounding. You need me like you need air to breathe. You want me to save you from me. I know that you're trapped inside this wave. Who's gonna save you? Who's gonna save you from me? I can't see you drown. 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 Give me all of your lies, 'cause you're my demon in disguise. I learned to love the cage you keep me in, but the walls keep closing in, and I don't wanna die, but your poison feels so right. Why do I want you when you're bad for me? My perfect storm, my beautiful catastrophe. My perfect storm, my beautiful catastrophe. It's a toxic addiction. You're a guilty affliction. Yeah. I can't breathe. I need to get some air, but it's a toxic addiction. You're a guilty affliction. Yeah. You can't breathe and you just need some air. Yeah. Give me all of your lies, 'cause you're my demon in disguise. I learned to love the cage you keep me in, but the walls keep closing in, and I don't wanna die, but your poison feels so right. Why do I want you when you're bad for me? My perfect storm, my beautiful catastrophe. My perfect storm, my beautiful catastrophe. My perfect storm, my beautiful catastrophe.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Peace, power, and profit. Peace, power, and profit. Uncle Jocelyn. You know, days like today are pretty much. It's like, how do you even, how do you even intro on such a, you know, a wild day in markets where a lot of people who are actively engaging it, right? There are going to be some winners and there are going to be some losers, obviously, right? And then there are going to be some people who sat on their hands and did nothing and just watched all the melee and the chaos, right? So, days like today, of course, we want to make sure that we're very, conscious of the fact that, of course, someone is losing a lot of money today. Of course, and that being if they sell, right? Because you never lose until you sell your position, right? But the idea that you're seeing your paper profit value, fleet away from you a little bit, that definitely, it definitely hurts, right? It sinks, to the bottom of the pit of your stomach sometimes, right? And we get that, right? Because consciously, again, no one likes to feel like they're in a position where they can't, in effect, control the outcome of their situation sometimes, especially when it comes to money, right? But we understand that when you take on this profession, you have to realize that it is a risk, it's a risk factory in itself, right? So you trying to figure out, where are the potential variables or problems that may or may not come and how to prepare for them, right? And being level-headed about it. Because I like to tell you guys, you guys are doing something that a lot of people are not built to do, right? Number one, it takes an executive type of mindset. It takes an entrepreneur, right, type of mindset, right, to be able to do what we do. And not so much just from a trader's perspective, but even as an investor, right? You have to say, well, I trust, the business model, right? To be a chariot of growth that I can ride into the future at some point. So I'm going to submit my money to this company, and hopefully they'll do right by me, and doing good business, right? Doing good business, right, in the world. And so again, we don't go into that thing, that whole business ideal, feeling like, it's, I don't know, tulips and everything is just going to go right all the time. Is pink unicorns and, again, poppy fields or whatever. No, you have to realize that it's a game of it's a game of, of basically risk, right? Risk assessment, right? It's competitors out there, right? Who want to steal your lunch from you every day. So, and sometimes the broader market issues on a geopolitical side too, that makes it a little bit more complicated, right? And so it's a lot of factors is my point of what I'm trying to say. So when you have markets, pulling back like we've been witnessing over the past, let's say couple weeks, it's been a little longer, but we'll kind of tie it in a 2-week kind of reality here. It seems like the pain never ends, right? And it's like, okay, every time it pulls back a little bit, you try to, you've been using the skills that you've been, learning in terms of, if it pull back 5%, I'll buy on a 5% pullback, or if it pulls back 10%, I'll buy on a 10% pullback, kind of dollar cost averaging in, right? And then it goes a little lower, right? So I bought the dip, but it kept dipping, right? What do you do, right? It's in moments like that is when you really, it's like, okay, you're planning for the inevitable, right? We know that there's a pullback coming at some point in the markets. And then when it happens, it's like, okay, I may not be mentally ready for this, right? Even though I think I was, technically prepared, right? I might have had stop losses in play. I might have had some, limit orders in play to kind of catch those dips, and they end up being falling knives. And it's like, well, what do you do, right? Where do you go, right? Who do you run to, right? Who do you run to, right? I need that. Some of them escape the clear right now, right? Who do you run to? Well, again, these are the moments when you really show how poised you are as an investor or a trader. This is where your discipline kicks in to overdrive, right? As the title says, if you see my description box down there, it says what? Market meltdown, right? Don't panic, it's organic. Like, how long have we been preparing for this? Right? Moment of silence there. Like, how long have we been preparing for this? So in the same likeness where people somewhat in their mind lose their money, of course, if they haven't sold their position, they're just watching the profits probably get ate into today. There's someone making money on the flip side of that trade too, right? Someone is shorting the market. Someone's playing a put on the market. They got a put on the market right now, right? Beyond the Powell put, right? The Federal Reserve put. There's somebody that's trading that backside, right? They're hedging. Right? We've been talking about hedging like since the summer of 2021, even before that, but more so just saying, hey, these are the seasons when you want to start kind of being a little cautious. Just be, at some point it's going to taper off in Q3. Then by Q4, we're going to be in a whole new different marketplace. So be prepared. Like, we've been preparing for this, right? Again, when y'all know my favorite line, like the Will Smith movie, I Am Legend. I was saving that bacon. Right? I was saving that bacon. I was saving it. I was waiting, right, for the right moment to utilize it. And so today is the day. Like many we've seen over the past few days, where we've been saving that bacon, and we now being able to enjoy it. Why? Because we don't feel like we're pressed and we're discombobulated by the idea that the market will fall the way that it's falling, and like no one is coming to save it. Like, no, we're not frantic over that. We're not frantic about that. We're like, okay, we was preparing for this. We were trimming off the top course. A lot of these high fly stocks that been taking it through the moon, through the roof, to Jupiter, Mars, wherever, we were understanding that at some point, they're going to have their moment where they're going to run out of fuel. So, I was trimming some of my Tesla holdings well into the $1,100, $1,200 level. I was paring back some of them gains. Like, why wouldn't I lock in some of those gains? I was locking in some of my gains on Moderna, right? I locked in some gains in the 400s, locked in a little bit more in the 300s, right? And look where Moderna's at today, right? So, yeah, it's always hindsight. We get it, but that's why we say, well, we got to have an entry and an exit, right? You have to have an entry and an exit strategy every time you go into the market. Why? Because you realize that, guess what? There's other people out here to realize that this is a business to them, right? They're not doing this for likes and bro points and, bragging rights. They're not trying to prove to somebody that, hey, at least I can show you I can do this. That's not what this is about, guys. This is about making money. This is about procuring wealth. This is about setting up opportunities that may lead into what growth on an interest accruing level on your money, right? So there's a lot of different parameters in that, but the overall message here is that you're here to make money, right? You're not here to do no more than just that. And so that's your line in the sand. That's your hard line discipline that you should always, come into the market with every single day when you cut on your computer or your cell phone, your laptop, tablet, whatever. Yeah, I'm here to make money, right? And moments where the market ain't really giving me what I want, well, guess what? I have the ability to hedge if necessary, right? Or I get to sit on my hands and just observe, right? Get me some real life lessons here in knowledge, purveyorship, right? You observe it. Okay, yeah, I see what's going on here. I'm taking notes. I'm journaling. So that way you always feel like, you're in control of the moment, much as you possibly can, at least to the extent where you feel like your conscious is well, and you can go to sleep at night, right? So again, these are just moments that we've been battle tested before. We've been prepared for this. We were waiting for this moment to happen. And, again, no sweat, right? No sweat. Even though it still stings again to see, some of your long-term stuff, maybe take it, being taken to the woodshed. But if you got that, you have that short-term thesis too, you got a good ground game, right? You have a good ground game, then guess what? You can make some money on the front side too, right? You can make some money on the front side of this as well, right? So again, just with that being said, yeah, the doom and gloom thesis is out there. People are, brandishing it. They're kind of, flaunting it, as people out there just making, indiscriminate decisions. They paper handing, they're panic selling, they're capitulating, right? We waited for this moment. Again, they're capitulating. And the smart investors are like, okay, yep. All right. Where is everybody today? Are they in panic mode, capitulation mode, or are they dang near in the anger mode? Right? Because in those moments is when I'm always probably thinking about, seeing if the damage ain't too bad, if it's still more to go. I'm gonna be patient here and wait to kind of, feed off all that when it's all said and done, right? Because everybody loves a never-ending party, right? We love excitement, we love thrill, we love the euphoria aspect of just, feeling like we're right? The market can do no wrong. We just buy the dip, right? And that's a false, it says a false flag. That's a false flag if I ever seen one in stock markets. Why? Because if you get to the point where you feel like, the market can never prove you, prove you wrong, so to speak. You've lost, some of the most basic and valuable tenets of being able to, be in this industry. Why? Because it's a game of risk management. It's not throw anything at a wall and see what sticks, and that's just what it is. You have to learn how to manage risk. This carries into your personal life as well, guys. This stuff it goes well into the things you do on a daily basis, right? It teaches you how to be more poised and organized and a multitasker. It teaches you how to be, again, a very keen and meticulous person about how you manage business, period, right? I don't care if it's $1, 50 cents, or $5 or whatever. This is a game of learning how to be, again, be the best executive you possibly can, right? And so again, today are no more than just an example of what we knew that potentially would come to fruition at one point, right? We knew this day was coming, right? Or these days, if you want to say it from that perspective, right? We knew these days were coming, right? So it's no secret here. It's no, it's no sweat off our backs. We're witnessing again, no more than a little bit of some rebalancing, right? For what it's worth, we're just witnessing a little rebalancing. That's a good thing, guys. Why? Because who wants to buy Tesla at $1,200, $1,300 a share? Even though we know it's still probably gonna go to the moon at some point in the distant future, right? Who wants to buy Apple at 190, 180? Right? Like, think about this, guys. Who wants to buy Amazon at dang near $5,000 a share? And they've been flaunting the idea of doing a forward split forever. Never have, right? They got greedy. They should have did that forward split when they was up in the 4,000. Now they down in the twos and whatever. And like, okay, well, dang, we missed that opportunity. Like, you get my point here, right? The goal was to buy low, sell high. The name of, again, the mantra is to, buy low, sell high, right? And that's if you're going long markets. Now, there's also a flip to that, right? There's the vice versa, right? There's the inverse to that, right? It's the what? Sell high, buy low, right? The sell high, buy low thesis is winning right now. Well, what do I mean by that? These are people who are properly hedging the market right now on the way to the downside. They're making money watching this thing just, precipitously drop to the downside. And again, y'all know how this stuff go, right? The elevator is faster to the downside than it takes the stairs to go up. People make their biggest gains when markets are what? Pulling back. Some people call it crashing, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to insert in there. But you make the most money when markets are pulling back. Why? Because panic and fear cause people to do a lot of things obviously they wouldn't necessarily do if they had a more level-headed scenario. The idea that they feel like, they're losing, or they might hear someone else in the next room panicking, that makes them panic, right? Human emotions, right? The cultural aspect of our symbiotic nature, right? Again, but you have to be the one that stands 10 toes down, stand on your square and be like, no, I'm tuning all that stuff out. I got my blockers on, right? I can't hear all that foolishness. I'm going to stick to my game plan, and I'm going to adjust according to what makes sense to me in my P&L. This is where great traders, become, phenomenal traders, right? This is where mediocre traders become awesome traders. This is where newbies actually get them another stripe on they karate belt. True story. Why? Because they sat, quietly inside of their head and managed this opportunity here in a way where they never thought they possibly could do. Put in this, being put in this situation, they managing it properly because they got away from the Wall Street bets and the Reddits and the apes and the buy the dippers all the time and the the doom and gloomers all the time and whatever. You got to find your place in this, as I like to say, find your own niche or niche, but steal from everybody. This is what's going to make you that that person that bees around 5, 10 years, 20 years from now, right? So again, don't panic, it's organic. I repeat, don't panic, it's organic, right? Because it's natural for things to pull back. It's natural for gravity to have us have its play. It's natural for physics to have its play, right? Let it happen. Again, you want to be able to get things cheaper, right? How the song go? It's cheaper to keep her. Da, 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 da. It's cheaper to keep her. It's cheaper to keep her. Why? Because again, you realize that on the risk management side of things, you can manage that scenario a little bit better if you just give it time to work yourself out. Right? You have to learn how to politic, right? You need, as one say, you have to learn how to politic with your money. You have to learn how to talk to your money. You have to learn, when you put a plan together, and sometimes you may have to audible a thing like a Peyton Manning or Omaha, it's okay, right? Because we realize that investing in trade is not an exact science. It is not an exact science. So therefore, you should never go into this reality thinking it's always going to be 100% binary reality. It's either going to go up, it's going to go down, or whatever. And forbid, you're on the wrong side of that, then then it's market manipulation, then it's it's a problem, it's this, it's that. You know how this stuff go. Again, we in the business of not making excuses, right? We in the business of not making excuses. Why? Because that'll never serve you the ability to grow from, again, an observation thoroughly. Why? Because you're never going to be 100% in this craft or this industry. Heck, Warren Buffett don't even have 100% win rate. Paul Tudor Jones, right? Whoever your favorite investors out there, Dalio, anybody, they don't have 100% win rate, percentile. It does not work that way. Why? Because there's a lot of things in life that obviously comes up. There's variables, right? How can you account for that, right? Some people call them one-off events or black swans or whatever. However you look at it, just be prepared that, at least you got all the boxes checked that you needed to be comfortable knowing that if something goes, a little haywire or different than what you planned for, okay, you got all the parameters in place to make you feel comfortable about your situation. Again, you don't have to just sit through pain just to try to prove a point. Like, to who? Who are you trying to prove a point to? Right? So again, we're ready for this. We're battle tested. We built for this, right? We are built for this, right? We're built for this, right? Because again, as we do know, hey, being a student of the game requires us to have what they call a baseline of three, fundamental values, right? They call it the rubric, right? Or, when you go into a, your collegiate course, whatever, and they give you a little syllabus, and these are the things that, that we're going to focus on, right? To get through this little course. Well, we understand that, we focus on technical analysis for a reason, right? Because there's levels to this, literally, right? We focus on fundamentals, right? Because we understand that time is money, right? Essentially, fundamentals put you in that perspective. Why? Because you're engineering something, right? You're producing something. You understand that time is money, right? The nuts and bolts behind it, the paperwork, the people, the notional value of what it's going to cost. That's the fundamental side. And then the third thing is investor sentiment, the emotions behind the people that you finna go to business with. And in this case, we're using these financial assets in these companies. We have to realize that the other investors out there, how they may or may not be thinking about this asset in the same light. Why? Because that also has effect on how markets move. What's the consensus out there? Make sense? If everybody goes into panic mode, what happens to an asset? The stock gonna go into panic mode, right? It's gonna be very volatile. It's either gonna be crashing or it's gonna be skyrocketing, one way or the other, right? That's volatility, right? You need some expansion to happen, right? So again, with all that being said, we stick to the basics. We realize the importance of basics, so that way we never get ahead of ourselves, right? Or we're never behind the curve in likeness to that reality. So again, I repeat, don't panic. It's organic, right? Markets need to take a breath. You can only hold your breath for so long, bro. If you look at the market just on the loans, again, let's be honest here, right? The market has been running on fumes, rust in the bottom of the gas pan, no oil in the oil pan, no transmission fluid. It's been running on high, RPM gauge bent to the right. It's been running like that for the past literally whole year. And now all of a sudden that it's having a chance to kind of collect itself. All of a sudden, everybody going through what they call the Chicken Little moment, right? The sky's falling. Oh, the sky's falling. The sky's falling. It's over. Oh man, they sold us a bill of bad goods and all this stuff, right? It's the president's fault. It's somebody's fault. You got to blame somebody. Is my point. They got to find somebody to blame. Again, that's not how markets work. Why? Because you are held accountable in this space, because it's a one-man army reality here, or one-woman army reality here. Why? Because you chose to hit the buy button. You chose to hit the sell button, right? No one forced you to do that, right? So never go into an opportunity looking to lay blame. Go into it saying, how can I become a better person out of this, right? How can I become a better trader or a better observer of markets, right? A better student, again, of the game. Why? Because you realize that this is just this is the kind of stuff that man, if you guys only realize the level of how can I put this? The level, I just keep it basic. The level of education that comes along and witnessing all this stuff. Like, a lot of people ain't been through no real crash. Now, some people say, well, this is a crash. Well, how? Okay, we pull back from 480 to 420. Yeah, that seems like a lot. But there's been moments when the markets have pulled back, more than that and faster than that. And then what people do after that, right? They start putting things into perspective. Okay, well, let me look at this, right? So let's go back to 2017, right? Let's use 2017 as a marquee. Look at this. Again, there's your COVID lows. There's your COVID lows. We hit 218 on the COVID lows, right? 218. Now that drop there looks very precipitous. Like I said there, we dropped base from 336 all the way down to 218, right? That's over 100 points, right? Near 125 points. Okay, this latest drop, we dropped from 480 to 420. Okay, that's 60 points. That's about dang near a third or half of what we did back during the COVID lows. So you actually say, okay, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, that it hurts in the short term. Why? Because a lot of people, they were buying at the top. They were buying up here at 470. They was buying at 480 because the energy surrounding the markets had them feeling invincible, that the markets could do no wrong. So they kept making these kind of okay, you know what? I'm just gonna ride the wave until until the tide goes and turns the other way. But at some point, you got to start realizing too, okay, if a lot of the economic data, the fundamental aspects of the markets at some point have to start, mattering, right? It's gonna have to matter at some point, right? Okay, you start getting all this, the tea leaves start to kind of reveal themselves. Okay, we got inflation, we got employment, ambiguity still. There's no kind of clear path to getting everybody back to employed, because now we got draconian laws with vaccine mandates, whether you for or you against it. Of course, it's not making them out political. We just using the things that we use, to kind of think tank our way through an investment cycle. You got cyclicality values of, again, certain assets are more frothy than others. So at some point, people are gonna feel like, okay, yeah, maybe I need to start rebalancing and start, kind of building my portfolio to balance out, essentially, right? You got, again, geopolitical tensions, right? Of course, that's, all these little superpowers out there kind of flexing their chest every day, and trying to stir up, drama in their own little way, right? For whatever reason, there's a lot of things that go on, right? To live on this rock, right, called planet Earth. As an investor, it's not becoming of us to walk around with our head in the sand or in the sky only, and not realize these things are doing that they are very well much so notable catalysts that we have to pay attention to. Why? Because those things also move markets, right? In your local, neck of the woods, or on a global scale. That's how this stuff works, right? You signed up to be, in this to learn how to what? Read money, right? That's what this is all about, learning how to read money, right? And we follow the money here. That's the whole mantra here. Follow the money, right? Don't try to buck that trend, right? When you kind of trade, money flow, you're going to be in trouble, right? You're going to lose that. Why? Because you're dealing with a trillion dollar plus industry. And when it's moving, it's like a steamroll, right? It's like a big avalanche, snowball come down the hill, and you down there with, like a little twig trying to play stop loss, right? And you finna get crushed. Like, make that make sense, right? So it's not even worth trying to, again, prove that you Hollywood Co, right? You're trying to be Hollywood Co, right? Where my Outcast family at, right? It's not worth it, right? It's not worth it, right? So again, these moments are valuable for a reason, because it's teaching you how to be what? It's teaching you how to be the warrior that you designed, your mindset to be able to handle. And I know I'm not speaking, this is not, per se, directed towards everybody, because there are people out here who are winning right now because they're doing exactly what we've been planning to do in terms of hedging this market. They got their puts on right now, right? They got their straddles on right now, they strangles on right now. They're hedging all this this potential risk. No harm, no foul. Money being made, right? And then guess what? You can then, survey the situation, and then with the profits you're making on the market pulling back, you kind of fuse that in some of these dip buys when they seem to be relevant. That's how this stuff works, guys. You just recycling money. That's all you're doing. You're recycling the money in an effort to keep it continuously growing and accruing interest and growing to the upside. That's all it is, right? So I know it always sounds, what they call it, it sounds good, right? But it could be also, actionalized in the same likeness, right? Just by making sure you do the proper things that you're supposed to do. So again, for us, we were ready for this. We've been waiting for this. Again, no secret to us. There's still parts of this market that that has to still that it has to reckon to, right? So we got gaps that still yet to get filled. Look, we got a gap still down here, right? We got a gap still down here near 400. Like this stuff is crazy, right? And you got a gap above, because now we gapping down, right? At some point you say we got to come back and fill that gap too, right? Yeah. So we're just playing the game with what? We're just playing the levels, right? Now we're just playing pivots, right? You got an RSI that's offers, highly oversold on the daily, right? And yet still, you still got a mountain of financial data that you still have to reckon with. You got You got an FOMC meeting coming up this Wednesday. You got tech stocks pretty much kicking it off in terms of earnings for this Q4 earnings cycle coming down the pipeline this week. Some of the major names got earnings this week. And what's that's going to do to the market? Now, because everybody looking at pretty much Netflix, like, okay, if Netflix is an indication of what Apple may do, or Tesla might do, or Facebook or someone might do, then I don't think I want to be jump out the window like that. I don't want to be the one to jump out the window like everything's okay, right? So I mean, all those things are just, again, an extension of, hey, this is why we got to make sure we're properly positioned. We're properly, understanding the risks that are out there. And then we go out there and we'll execute, right? We go out there and execute based upon the rules of engagement, as we like to say that a lot for a reason, right? You have to be able to, again, adjust when necessary, right? So again, we're not, again, no frantic here, no panic here. Again, I'm going to keep repeating this until I log off this live stream. Don't panic. It's organic, right? We've already seen some of the YouTubers out there starting to panic, right? Well, again, we ain't got to name no names, but we could throw a little Hail Mary out there because, he needed a little lifesaver a little bit, right? The whole idea with Meet Kevin, right? Everybody been, blowing up, social media over the weekend because, he paper handed, Friday and sold pretty much everything, right? Well, he might have had a reason to do it. Of course, he was heavily in the margin. He was sitting in over $20 million in assets in the market. And then you have a moment when the market just kind of do this kind of move on you like right here, that crushes your margin because you're overly leveraged and too much risk. And it's in the moment when the markets are pulling back. So every time the market pulled back, he was at the mindset, okay, hey, this is a good moment to buy the dip, right? Because again, that's that buy the dip coach that, bought into the fool's gold narrative that market's going to at some point rebound because they got used to seeing it happen over here. They got used to seeing it happen over here. They got used to seeing it happen here, over here. And it was like, okay, we good. Why? Because Jerome Powell would not allow this market to falter. He would not allow that to happen. Again, fool's gold thesis. That's not a shot at him because, again, the guy's very intelligent, right? I'm in one of his Discord rooms, right? And, hey, y'all know this stuff traders, we all, corral together, no matter who you are, right? Go back to Timothy Psych days. We was all in them circles. And Ricky Gutierrez, y'all been old school tech bug solution. We go way back, guys. Y'all know how this stuff go. That's how traders do. We all corral around each other because it's not so much us against each other, it's us against the market. So we're just trying to figure out what's the best thing, best plans of action that we could put together collectively as a think tank to make money. Right? Even the pump and dump chat rooms out there, right? But y'all get the point, right? So again, don't panic. It's organic. Realize that you have to have a plan before you even begin to even think about doing this. Why? Because it matters. You're running an online business. You're running a business, right? You're running a business, right? And your dollars pretty much is your merchandise, right? Your merch is your money. I repeat, that's a t-shirt moment, right? Don't y'all steal that. Your merch is your money. It's not a t-shirt. It's not a pen. It's not a laptop. Your merch is your money. And as the saying goes, scared money don't make money, right? And you got to make sure that time, reveals, good money, right? You're using your time to grow that money, right? So when you understand, again, those basic tenets, you'll be well prepared to go out there and execute when necessary, right? So again, we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to say, okay, all right, I get it. Let me look at my situation. Let me look at my portfolio. Let me strategize to deal with what's still coming, right? Because guess what? We're not out of the woods. Okay. You look at the chart, it seems like, okay, bro, we can't go any lower. I mean, what else do you want from me, right? Remind me of that little Tyrese meme that was going around. They were dragging old brother Tyrese, right? You were going through some personal problem. You're like, what else do you want from me? Right? Somebody was taking him through the ringer. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. That's how a lot of people feel right now. Because why? Because they was buying up here at 470. They was buying up here in the 460s, right? They was buying up here close to that of 480s because they kept saying to themselves, oh, ain't nowhere in the world we're not going to hit 500. If we at 470, we definitely going to 500, S&P 500. See, that's the part where I'm like, whoa. Slow your roll, right? Slow your roll, little cowboy, slow your roll, right? Realize that, again, every day is a day that you have to plan for it to be different than the previous day. There are no 2 days going to be alike, even though you seem like you have a continuation of just run on or just buying, like we kind of witnessed back in October, right? The month of October, which is crazy because it even bucked the ideal of the superstition value of the October effect, right? October's are typically very tepid, right? Very tepid month, right? And the market just performed like it had like No words at all. Why? Because they were just front running the inevitable. What was the inevitable that they was front running? They was front running the fact that they knew at some point the Feds were going to have to deal with what? The idea that the inflation was starting to pick up, the idea that the job numbers obviously were starting to kind of improve a little bit, and the liquidity, the quantitative easing was going to have to kind of what? Back off a little bit. So they were just buying and running up, running the markets up into that what? Those moments of saying, okay, well, if we get the market high enough, then whatever pullback we have, at least it probably won't be as bad on us as it is if we were just trying to, possibly in a situation where we could pull back from what the month of October, at or around like 430, 440 area, right? Again, things are not as bad if you pull back from a higher place than you are from a more lower place, right? You drop 20% from 440. Well, guess what? That gonna look a little bit more, I should say, devastating on a chart than it is if you pull back from what? For 480. You see what I'm saying? Like, we mapped this stuff out in training. Like, we did all that parameters. Like, what was a 10% pullback look like? What would a 20% pullback look like? Right? We did all this stuff already, so we were prepared for this. I said, well, if we go to 450, if we go to 470, 480, what would it look like? These are the levels that we are already prepared for. So when you see a market, pulling back like the way it is that you see today, or we've been seeing for the past few days, right? Just on the daily readout here, just kind of, putting it in the context here, losing the 20-day moving average here on the daily here, of course, that was definitely a cue to get short the market. If nothing else, you had better good risk management mitigation there, because you already know what the line in the sand or the resistance point. Everything from that point on was just what? Biscuit wheels, gravy valley. Now you talk about what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Like a typical option contract gets you 5. Now, how hard was it us to buy what? Future protection into the market that was already trying to show what? Resistance. Future protection into a market that was already trying to show what? A slowdown or exhaustion of buyers. Future protection into a market that was already starting to deal with the reality that the Feds were getting ready to remove the punch bowl of liquidity from its drunk users. Like how much could they telegraph it to let you guys know that, guys, look, it's time to get, it's time to protect ourselves, and it's time to get ready to play this backside, right? Like, again, we couldn't make this stuff up, and we already know people say, "What's hindsight 2020?" But that's what we study for. That's what we realized levels for. That's what we understand the value of. Why we teach fundamental analysis and technical analysis and investor sentiment all in one, and we're not just centric to one aspect of learning than over the other. Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, how would you just want to be a technical trader and a technical trader only? Like, good luck with that. How you want to be only a fundamental trader and a fundamental trader only? Like, good luck with that. You get my point? To me, it doesn't make sense, right? I'm not cut from that cloth, and therefore, if I ever go live in front of anybody, I'm never going to give people one-sided reality. I'm going to give you the totality, and you decide where you at in the midst of that, so that way you can make better decisions with your situation, right? That's just being balanced, right? This thing called balance, right? It's another form of, as we like to say, this is where you show how clutch you are. Where my Kobe Bryant fans at? Where my Reggie Miller fans at in the house, right? Where my Stephen Curry, right? Where my Ray Allen fans at right now? Where my Larry Bird? I'm going to go way back. Where my Robert Orr fans at right now, right? My Horace Grant fans at right now, right? My AI, right? Allen Iverson fans at right now. You talking about being clutch? You talk about being clutch? Oh, so some of y'all ain't built like that, huh? Oh, you just talk a good game, but you ain't ready to be clutch when it matters most. Why? Because you've taken on the approach of being a fool's gold advocate. Like, you just think like the market could never do no wrong, or this, that, the third, or you don't have to hedge, right? Again, goes back to the 3 little pigs, right? You building your house with wet tissue. You need building your house with sticks. You building your house with wet tissue. Right? Good luck if that's gonna hold up to anything. Right? This is why we stress the value of being very open-minded and a student of the game, because you have to be clutch. You got to realize how, when this stuff matters, when you need to kind of audible your scenario. Omaha, right? Let's go, Peyton Manning. 100% right over Chris. You got to have that clutch gene, right? You got to have that clutch gene in you, right? You need to learn how to activate that clutch gene, because it matters, guys. Y'all know what I'm saying. What's going on, family? I started to look, see the back chat now a little bit. What's going on over Sunline in the building? Resident bodyguard holding down the door. What's going on, family? I already 666 in the house. Shout out to you over Rich B in the building. Shout out to you as well, right? We got some family in the building. Brother Matt's in the building. Shout out to you as well over Divine Full in the building. Shout out to you as well over today. Everybody's tuning in. Brother, be humble. Family, be humble in the house today. Thank you for tuning in. Brother Ramirez in the building. Thank you guys for coming through today. Having this real, solid conversation, because it needs to resonate. Why? Because someone needs to hear this message. Of course, I got trades going on right now, actively trading. I need to be focused on getting my money, right? But you know what? Sometimes the message is also just as valuable as the money. Why? Because I understand the risk profile that I have in front of me as well. I got my stop losses set. I have my safeguard things in place to protect my scenarios, while I'm also being on here trying to help the family too. Why? Because it is a community university, and it takes that sometimes. You have to be willing to kind of politic your thoughts and ideas out in the general public. Why? Because it makes you a better thinker too, right? As they say, when you write something down, you remember it better. Why? Because the art of writing it down, you have muscle memory, right? All that stuff matters in terms of how you remember stuff, right? How you retain stuff. So these moments are just that, right? And so that's why we focusing on that, and we trying to get people to realize this is when you activate your clutch gene. This is when you activate your clutch gene. Get excited for that, right? Again, don't panic. It's organic, right? So we're prepared. Again, matter of fact, roll that beautiful bean footage.
The bar raising, we keep moving it up. Ain't no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. I got faith restored, why you pushing the brakes? I ain't full of myself, boy, I'm full of mistakes. I came from humble and roots, I'm here to stand and deliver. Had no one gassing me up, except the man in the mirror. I used to work on my handles, and now it's handles of liquor. I write these songs in a dark room, the candle will flicker. I stay practicing heavy for when the game's on the line. It's like over and over, I run the plays in my mind. I'm a psycho, I'm taking my time. Rushing perfection is a dangerous crime. You gotta give it and take it. That's what you do till you make it. I had to roll with the punches and take the hits from the flagrants. I'm saying the bar raising, we keep moving it up. And no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. An off game don't mean I'm losing my touch. And no excuses, I ain't using a crutch. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. I was falling, had me stalling. I was way down, now I'm balling. I done came up, and I called it. I done came in the clutch with the game on the line. I know I operate from a higher place. Wait, some decisions don't try a race. I'm doing what I can to fuel the flame like a fireplace. To make a bunch of money, buy my mama a fireplace. We make incredible songs to celebrate and get mad lit. Once upon a time in Hollywood, I'm like Brad Pitt. My homies say I live a life, yeah, just a tad bit. Learning how to move in this rap shit. I told them that the bar raising, we keep moving it up. And no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. An off game don't mean I'm losing my touch. And no excuses, I ain't using a crutch. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. I was way down, now I'm balling. I done came up, and I called it. I done came in the clutch with the game on the line. I know.
We built for this, right? We're built for this. We come through in the clutch. Why? Because that's a part of our what? It's a part of our daily bread, and understanding what why are we here and what we need to be doing. Why? Because again, if you want to be a person who, let's say stand or last the time, test of time, then it's going to require you have to be in a position where you have to learn how to audible again, change things up, how to again assess the situation and what turn around and what fix it as necessary as you possibly can. So in the same light when we just saw the market pulling back, now you have a rallying off the bottom here again. Let's go to the 5 minute here. What's going on, Ober Brandon? See you in the building. Peace, power, proper. Ober Brandon in the house.
Peace, family. What's going on?
Man, doing well, man. Just watching this market, and I got popcorn, vegan popcorn, and I had to mess around and get me a cold brew today. And I don't necessarily mean the old, fermented cold brew. I got old coffee cold brew. That's even better.
Oh, okay.
I need that kind of zing moment going on right now.
Man,
I had to get that popping. So I was up all night like everybody else, studying and waiting to see what the thing gonna do. Right? We saw the futures market doing what last night? Going ham.
Yep.
Right? Future market went ham last night. And I told people, like, don't get excited. Don't get too excited. Why? Because we've seen this before, right? We know what happens in moments when you have these short-term rallies, right? Where you have the algos are trying to stem the tide of what? A bigger fall, right? They're trying to pad that, right? It's like you build that higher low, in this perspective, or the lower high, in essence to the what? The potential lower low that may come. And so sure enough, the market did that. So with that being said, course, we're seeing the market kind of slightly trying to do a little bad, back end rebound here. And guess what? Down on that backside of that dip, I bought me a couple calls. I surely did. Why wouldn't I, right? Like, why wouldn't you just put a place of protection on the ideal of the upside? So down here in the 421, I snatched up some. I actually bought some at around 425 on the way down to 421, right? Transparency. That's how the game works, right? You can't time the bottom. It's trying to what? It's basically trying to find the levels of potential bounce. Clear enough. We got the bounce we needed. So as soon as we got back up towards 425 here, guess what the brother was doing? Let me add another call to this, right? And now here we go. We surge it back up near 430 again. We're just playing a pivot here, right? So that's what this, again, don't panic. It's organic, right? So I tell people, man, these are the moments where champions are made, man. Guys, this is where champions are made. And I'm pretty sure y'all aware of that too, because y'all been around this stuff long enough to realize, okay, yeah, I'm straight. My mind's level. I'm good. I'm not emotional. I'm going to get this money, right? And so that's sense of what's going to happen. I already crushed the market to the downside. I had swing puts into the market today that just went crazy, right? Ballistic crazy, right? I had them scattered all over the place. Like I'm trading like 4 or 5 different accounts. I'm hitting everybody across the head. Lucid, I hit Peloton, AMC, I hit Tesla across the head. I hit Pets across the head. They got earnings now. I've swung them in the day, crushed them, right? So, and then SPY was just like a given, right? Because again, that opening was like, okay, here we go. Yeah, so it's been great. So what's going on? We got brother Sean in the building. Peace, power, and pride for Sean. How's it going, family?
This I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, you watching this market too, man? What are you assessing today for the markets?
Man, I'm still wet behind the ears, trying to catch up, man. I'm just watching you guys and just trying to get plugged in to what you guys are doing as far as the contracts. You know what I mean?
Tracking.
I seen something, but I heard something on 10-10 wins, ironically, as far as Procter & Gamble, how all the detergents gonna go up next month.
Yep, inflation.
So they said like 7%. So quick question. So I will put a put. Will I put a call in, or will I say it's going up, or will I say it's going down?
Well, a call is going long, and a put is going short. Meaning, obviously, you're trading against. Mm-hmm. And so, if you're playing, particularly in a place where you're trying to front run the idea that this may be a great opportunity to kind of ease into a potential good trade like that. Of course, that's why people use options, right? It's a derivative, right? It's a way to contract your way into a potential long-term or short-term position, right? You get to try it before you buy it, kind of, right? And
right, exactly.
That's the whole idea behind option. Course, there's a lot more that go along with it too, because there's Greeks and all the other stuff. It's a little complex, but once you get the basis of it, you'll be able to put together at least a baseline thesis just based upon the rules of a basic engagement, right? Again, is it a strong, catalyst that might be leading the stock to kind of make a move to the upside, right? Or the inverse, right? Something that means bad news may drive the stock to the downside. Make sense? And so you're just trying to play or front run that, or chess move your way into that potential opportunity, right? So yeah, like we've been discussing that a lot on this channel about the consumer staples, right? These are stocks that do very well in a high inflationary environment. Why? Because they're ubiquitous items that you always have to use. What you're going to use, right? Like majority of stuff that Procter & Gamble sells, like everybody uses them, right? They're ubiquitous, right? Pandemic, no pandemic, right? Zombie apocalypse, you still got, if the store open, you still got to go get your toiletries and your little items here, and you get it,
everything, right?
So it's again no brainer. See how that works? It's a no brainer reality. So you know what? This probably gonna be a good safe haven to hide out in, right? Because Wall Street's already, they already understand that. They understand, okay, at some point, yeah, we're gonna have to start front running the idea that these rate hikes going to kick in, right? And that the overpriced stocks are gonna have to be somewhat taken to the woodshed. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
Good thesis, good homework, right? Again, you following what we say, right? You got to learn how to follow the money. That's essentially what you're doing in that regard, right? Because those things are going to be cash cow opportunities, regardless, because people got to spend money on the items that Procter & Gamble sells. Why? Because they cater to that average everyday person, right? The items that you need to survive with, quote unquote, somewhere, right? So shout out to you, Overshawn, on that. So again, if you've been watching us, we've been kind of really pushing the idea of, when we get in a scenario like this, when we kind of make that rotation from, high value growth stocks to value play, well, the name in itself tells you how great of an opportunity it is, because value stocks are very basic in their ideology, right? It's a value play, right? It provides value. It provides, a value, a scenario of subsistence in a lot of ways, right? Where you can kind of benefit off it in a moment where it's how can I say it? It's a turnkey reality that a lot of people kind of see or use in some kind of form of a fashion that could be a benefit, right? So those things are going to be very well positioned going into 2022, throughout the year. What I'm saying. So you got this, the General Mills, right? Cereal, like seriously, like tell a kid they can't have cereal because the price of goods and services are going up, right? They're gonna tear the house up. Right, they want them Lucky Charms on the table, right? Stuff
Right.
like you get my point. Kellogg's, right? Again, case in point, McDonald's, right? McDonald's is the most phenomenal value play. Like I've been pushing McDonald's since 2016, right? I had one brother came to me, it's like, man, I said, if you had to choose between buying Nike stock or McDonald's, which one you choose? Well, of course he chose Nike. Why? Because he's most familiar with the idea of I like the shoes and I like this, that, and the third, right? I say, now I'm gonna ask you this. Do you think people more reluctant to buy a cheeseburger faster than they are about, to buy a pair of Nike running shoes or Air Maxes? It depends on the scenario. Like, yeah, McDonald's is pretty much everywhere around the world. Now,
Right.
Nike is selective in terms of where it could be because it has to cater to a certain demographic that will benefit from it, right? But people ain't complaining, double thinking about the idea of I see at McDonald's. This is the brand recognition I've been seeing like forever. Oh, they got cheese, they got food, they got this. You see what I'm saying? You can buy a ton of cheeseburgers for the price of a pair of shoes. And so the growth of McDonald's is always proven to be resilient. Why? Because it has a very basic business model that everybody knows, love, have tried, and will continuously do. Why? Because it's a value. It's a value. They even call their menu they got a value menu, dollar value menu. Right? I mean, they could make it even more plain, right? So it's just that kind of thing is my point. Of course, I don't want to kind of keep beating that drum, but you get the point, right? So that's how that's how you'll put together a mental thesis to go at the market. You got to find those kind of plays that will do good when everything else seems to be coming down because they overpriced or they, kind of, overstate their welcome in terms of investors, then bled them dry. And the other ones are like, okay, they've yet to get their ticket points. Those are the ones you want to start searching out. And you're going to do your research and due diligence around those kind of realities. Make sense? So perfect. I think you'll benefit really great and just kind of starting researches in around that kind of reality. Consumer staples, some even the consumer discretion, some of them, not all, but some, you'll find great value there. All right. So shout out to you as well. Shout out to Overshawn in the building today, right? Getting it in, coming on, putting out again.
I was actually studying something else. I was actually studying something else when I got the notification to join. I was actually off today because I deliver oil. I got my CDL now. So
shout out to that.
Yeah, appreciate you. I do oil during the wintertime and do cement. You know what I'm saying? Like 8 months out of the year.
Summer. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you well familiar with the commodity space. So you already know how this stuff works, right? As a hands-on, practitioner in the space. So of course, these are things that you're witnessing happen now because the oil markets are surging, obviously, right? Inflation causing that. Anytime you have geopolitical tension, that also drives oil markets up, right? So you already know what it's like. If you're out there, doing natural gas or just refinement oil or just, however, you're seeing that because the purchase orders are moving these goods and services, or somebody buying something, right? Somebody spending some money, right? It ain't hard to kind of realize that in terms of that, and then the national averages, right? So, same thing with cement, right? See the importance of cement, right? Infrastructure bills, and the ideal of building and stuff like that. So, really good tracker in terms of how I would tell people, right? A lot of your, I should say your craft skill will somewhat spill over into your investment skills, right? Because you may have a particular insight on industry, right? And how important it is, or where it may not be, and it may help you make a good investment, decision, right? So that's very important. So shout out to you.
I can tell you right now, cement where I'm at, like I'm in Long Island, right? And cement, I work for like the number one cement on Long Island, which is Elm, and they got all the state contracts. And what we did all summer is because they building like 3 buildings out here on the island, Amazon buildings. I mean, that's like 10 football fields long, 10 football fields wide. That's a lot. Them
DC, they got the DC going on up there, distribution center. Yep.
A lot of comp. You know what I mean?
Facts. And the price of it is up because of what? Inflation, right? By way of the Feds, by printing all this money, they're diluting the value of this stuff. And it's a scarcity in a lot of ways to have it, right? So therefore, in comes the increase in price, right? So now these purveyors, these contractors get to charge a little extra, right? Because what else? I mean, these people want these businesses built, right? Amazon ain't finna back out just because the price of cement then went up another maybe 70 cents or 80 something percent, per bag, right? Or if not more. They need that project built, right? Because they feel like, a dime is not finna hold up $1 in the grand scheme of things when they make that money follow on the back end. Make sense? That's just the price of doing what they call doing business, right? That's how the world works in terms of commerce. And so we're getting a first-hand crash course on understanding how commerce works, right? On a global level and also in our respective local communities, right? Because I tell people every day, once you become an investor, you become basically a jack of all trades. You learn in all industries from the comfort of your computer, laptop, cell phone, tablet. Like, where could you get that level of knowledge, just by happenstance, so to speak? You have a directed focus on learning that now. And the importance of that, it makes you a better investor, a better consumer, right? And a better executive-minded person. Let that marinate. Make sense? So that's why I love this, because this right here, again, I always tell people, it follows you into your personal life. It teaches you a lot of good, habits. Again, just look at people like a Warren Buffett. Like think about how he been able to last this long, right? It ain't just luck. That's a lot of executive decisions he had to make over those years to still be considered, who he is today, and still, one of the bellwether, archetypes that people want to model themselves by, right? Because he understands risk. He went through moments where everybody was like, bye. He was like, no, I'm finna sit on my hand. Like, you crazy? Why you ain't spending money? Like, I'm straight, right? Who got the last laugh now, right? Of course he do, right? Because he was definitely that kind of person that sat on his hands literally for all 2021. And while everybody was like, no, just go high, go buy. He just sat on the ones he's already had. He's been setting those eggs, setting those traps, and now he's reaping the benefits now. Right? So that's what you call clutch. Right? That's what you call. Yeah. So I love it. So I love what we do here, because we like to, again, we branch into the education of this. We're not just saying, hey, this is stock, go buy it. Right? We won't do that anyway, right? We're not investors, we can't give you financial advice. We just give you a solid opinion that you can now take, into your investment thesis, right? Your research methodology, and hopefully it'll bear fruit. Why? Because what we see is no different than, again, what Warren Buffett is seeing right now in the same light. He's looking at the SPY right now in the same way. He may have some different indicators up there, but that chart movement is the same reality. Make sense? So there's no special privilege to that regard. It's about how you determine the flow of money in this perspective. And that's basically what we're doing. We're just following the money. Right. So I love this stuff, man. So shout out to you again, Sean, in the building. We welcome to have you. You welcome me anytime, of course. You see us on, man. Pop on, get this knowledge.
I've been dealing with you for years.
I know.
So, I know. Even from the, when before my girl passed. You know what I mean? This is going on 6-7 years. You know what I mean? So,
yep. I'm with you.
I just appreciate you, man.
Hey, it's all reciprocal, man. It's all love, because you know where I come from. I come from that village mentality, right? Because I feel like that's the only way we're gonna get this. You got to have people who are willing to dedicate, and we realize that this is a game that needs to be sold, right? And not necessarily in terms of monetary value, but by the value of what you need to understand how this money is being able to turning over. You need to get this. You need to learn this in other ways, right? And because it's a benefit, right? Not that you have to do it every day, but when you have the time to, to invest time into learning it, use it to your benefit. It's beat sitting around watching 3 hours or so of a show that can't give you no tangible benefit from. That's just my opinion, right? So shout out to you again. So over Chris in the building, I see you, man. What's going on over Chris? Are you popped in? You popping in and out. I think he's busy.
What's up, over Peace, Power, and Profit?
You got it, man. Shout out to you as well today, man. How you assessing this market day?
It's just bearish sentiment.
Good old fashioned bear sentiment, right? The bears, right?
Yeah. So
right?
just scooping up some discounted prices, and just shopping on every the dip buyers, how they say. So I just I look at it as opportunity to get in, get out, and keep it moving.
That's it. So again, and I say the rules and engagement didn't change it because the market had to change, right? You just adjust accordingly, and you just make sure that again, that you're comfortable in your skin, that you're doing the proper things to better manage your your portfolio or your trades, or or your at least your thesis, right? Because some people again just they're just observing and taking notes, right? It's a no harm, no foul kind of reality even in that, right? Because good observation is like worth a pound of man. Look, you can't beat that, right? That's really good intel. That's what it is. It's intel, right? You seeing how markets react in these kind of moments, so it's really good in that regard too. So I think for the most part, like I was saying earlier, we were planning for this, right? We were saving this bacon. We were, and it ain't like it's over. It's just that today, coming out of Friday, the continuation, as you see on the screen here, the continuation here is just another extension of, hey, this is what happens in these kind of settings, right? As much as one would like to say, well, man, this is just too much, right? Or it just is overkill. Like, who gets to decide that? You know what I'm saying? Right. And if your money ain't able to kind of keep up or compete, then guess what? You're gonna get ran over trying to prove that the market has to bend to your will, right? I was saving this, I had the thing going the matrix. I had the boy was like, it's not the spoon that bends, but it's your it's your mind that bends.
Right.
So jokers out there trying to bend the spoon with their mind, they're getting headaches, right? Getting migraine headache. Like, bro, that's not how this stuff work. It ain't how this stuff work, bro. It don't even work that way, bro. Even a bust a blood vessel trying to make the market bend to your will. All right. And you're gonna get your money taken, right? So now be patient. Let the market dictate, the narrative that it's gonna do regardless, with or without you, right? It has their own agenda. And that's fine, right? We know markets is crazy, and it's everything that most people probably want to say it is, but that's fine too. That's great. Go ahead, Oba.
You just being strategic and adjusting your moves. We're not in the market where it's a bunch of stimulus and Fed money that's filling the market up, keeping it propped up to keep going higher. It's a different market sentiment now, so you just have to adjust with that. You have to look at different assets and see what's winning, what's in, what's is going to be profitable in this time frame, and just go with that. You just shifting and moving, shaking.
Rotation, right? It's all about the rotation of things, right? So again, one side of the boat gets like the Titanic, one side of the boat get loaded up with all the passengers. At some point, you got to somebody got to ship to the other side, right? Because if not, we all gonna go down. That's all this stuff good old fashioned is. Yeah. Old fashioned scenario like this. So again, moments like these are just when the all-star people step up, right? This is when you call that 6 man off the bench, right? Because he can do one thing, very well, right? You got what we call a specific set of skills. Like you got a specific set of skills. Just line them up in the corner, let him do his thing. And that's what we all have inside of our brain. We got that 6 man that's waiting to get called. Because this when him or her, this one when they're most effective. They were planning for this side of that. If I have to activate this side of me, I know exactly what to go do, right? And then they go out there and execute, right? They're not moved by the day-to-day volatility or the people thinking that the sky's falling. They ain't playing the chicken little card, bro. They like, bro, we all right, straight. Oh, I get to buy puts finally. let's go. Right? That's what they think, like, oh, I'm gonna get it now. I'm gonna get it. So that's the diversity of you, the individual, having what a multiplicity of what things at your arsenal to implement within the markets. That's all it is, right? So we no more, no less, right? So we built for this, and we're enjoying it. Why? Because again, we're gaining so much intel and knowledge from these moments in the same likeness, right? It's teaching us, how to be poised and patient, and the rest will be history. Right? So I'm loving this. And again, and then we still in the second week of earnings, right? We're in the second week of earnings. It's going to be fireworks. Yeah, look, people think the market, getting a little ham today. You got between tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, boy, and it's finna get wild out there. All I'm gonna say, get some sleep if you can, right? Keep your fresh, clean pair of underwear on, because you might soil them jokers if you get a little too panicky. Keep you some tighty whities or something, some clean ones, but because some jokers gonna have some accidents, boy. I'm telling you, boy. I'm talking about put the locks on your window. You know how that go, because you're gonna be trying to go out the window on the third floor, boy. Don't do it. Don't even ain't that serious. It ain't that serious. Because Joker ain't built for that. Again, they got too, got too comfortable. Y'all know how this to go. Wall Street known for that. Boy, just go out the window on the fifth floor, real boy, on a small loss. That's wild to me. But anyway, moving on. So yeah, man. So we'll see how this thing turn out. So yeah. So we got Brother Marquise. I see what's going on, bro. Over to Marquise in the building. Savage FX. If y'all see him down here, screenshot down there. I don't know if he's rocking and roll. He might be busy. What's going on over Marquise?
Peace. What's going on, fam? Peace, power, profit.
Peace, power, and profit to you, man. So how's the day treat you, man? What's going on in your neck of the woods as far as markets?
Man, been a nice day, man. Been catching these out of the money contracts cheap. It's a lot you can do with $40, man. I'm telling you.
Boy, tell me about it. I've been pushing that narrative so long. Small people get a little piece of chain for a little something strange. Man, joke took like, all right.
I'm telling you. I mean, when it's this much volatility and it's moving like that, them contracts move fast.
They
I've
move
been
fast.
look down and look back up. I'm like, I'm up 75%. Like,
Facts.
It's moving just like that. So I just been, catching some mostly to the downside, kind of catching with a price action, kind of make those little pullbacks and really on my Robinhood account, on my Tastyworks account. And at the same time, I've been flipping phones. This market dropping like this got everybody selling their phone.
Hey,
there's a correlation here somewhere.
Entrepreneurs, please, would you please stand up? Would you please stand up? What are entrepreneurs at the building?
Yeah, and just working with contractors as well too. Getting stuff in the crib together. So yeah, it's been a pretty busy day. Nice day. I prepared. Kind of set up Tuesday and everything. Played out pretty nice.
Nice. Again, like I say, just more to us, it's like business as usual. Right, for a lot of people who yet to kind of really experience these kind of scenarios. Again, this is what this is about. This is what we kind of prepped the idea that if and when this happens, it'll be like a nothing burger, right? Again, to have that level of understanding and patience, that in itself is like golden. Why? Because that's when you make your most money. Right, that's when you're gonna make the most money. Like we're talking about expansion, right? Expansion, that's how you make money. Volatility, you make money when markets are volatile. Why? Because markets open up, stocks open up. I mean, look at this move on AMC right here. Look at the pivot, right? This pivot here was every bit of what gold, and it was televised. Why? Because the broader market obviously correlated at a point when the SP 500 was driving everything because of the sentiment, right? Soon as the SP start pivoting, a lot of the other stuff are gonna pivot too, obviously, right? Because it's a market correlated pullback kind of day. Instant okay, we pivot out this 450 430 area, let's go, right? Let's buy some calls, let's buy some in the money calls, or maybe half point out, and let's play into this this same inverse retrace scenario, so to speak. And so these are the moments we talk about. So you got a whole dang near 3-point move, a whole dang near 3-point move in 2 hours and less than 2 hours in AMC. Like imagine the money that's made in that little bit of time, right? Maybe about an hour, 45 minutes. And they were dirt cheap because it was downtrending. So the calls obviously got cheaper. and the put became more expensive because the put call ratio kicked in. And then as soon as the retrace happened on the SPY, caused the bounce to happen, instantly people start flipping to the calls, right? I mean, that's just what you call an hour and a half worth of work. If you're playing that pivot right, I'm guaranteeing those contracts in the money were made by what, 70 cents, if that 30, 50 cents. Well, I say 50 cents. And now they up, now we're worth my what, maybe 150, somewhere around there, $200 plus. You could make this stuff up. And that's per contract. So you buy like a handful of them, you already updating $1,000. You know, that kind of reality, right? Right? Like we built for this, you know. And so another extension of why we, you know, why we study, why we're again, I keep repeating this for a reason, why we're students of the game for this very reason, right? So, you know, notwithstanding that we, you know, get to a place where we feel like, you know, our hands is completely tied behind our back and we can't do that because the market ain't giving us, you know, what we want, you know, and that's fine too, because that's the case. You can sit on your hand, that's fine too. But we do know that, you know, money can be made up and money definitely can be made to the downside, right? And so that's what makes us equal opportunists in this, and we welcome moments like this in the same breath, right? So again, you know, coming from a place where, you know, you got multiple assets, you know, skills underneath your belt, especially over markets. You already know this, like on the Forex side, the crypto side, you know, of course, we see what's happening to Bitcoin right now. People over there panicking. They like, you know, it's chicken little over there. They just came for the whole weekend just were crying over there.
Yeah, they confused. They don't know if they want to say it's in a discount or they want to run.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But they all that time they were saying, hold, and I'm built for this. And you paper handing out. Now, like, boy, put the joker on a little pressure. You'll see how they fold, or they right. You'll see if they fold or they hold, right? Because
especially some of these NFTs getting smacked right now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That other aspect of what when the getting is good, you eat, right? And when it's you know, when it kind of balances itself out, when there's a moment kind of, you know, gotta let stuff cool off a little bit, you know, you don't act as if, you know, again, the sky's falling. You just say, okay, I get it. This is a risk off moment right now, right? We risk off a little bit here. Now it's time to let all the kind of let all the dust settles, right? Let all the balloons, confetti, you know, fall finally. And then we assess everything. We'll get ready for the next scenario. Right?
You know what it reminds me of, Over? You know, when you go and it's a real popular movie out and y'all all go to the movie theaters to watch it, and the movie pretty much about to be over, you like, let me get out of here before everybody
start heading for the exit. Hello. That's basically it, you know.
Let me get up out of here.
Front running, right?
Yeah, let me front run.
Front run this, you know, this freelance line to get ready to happen, right? Go jump from the head for their lunch.
For the traffic get crazy, it's gonna be hard for me to get up out of here. You know, same thing with the club.
Driving everything. I'm gonna be the first one out the parking lot if I can. All that. Forget them credits. I watch that on YouTube somewhere. Right. But that's it. Yeah, that's markets in a lot of ways too, because essentially that's what the suits do. That's what the institutional buyers do. They know retail money trying to squeeze they try to squeeze blood out of turnip. Why? Because they're working with less. They want to get they want to get the full move, right? If they can. Institutions say, okay, they sitting here waiting on what? A whole dollar number to hit. We gonna front run them by 30, 40 cents. And that's a big chunk of money that's getting ready to leave, of course, right? When that thing U-turn on them, because they start selling, the big money start turning, and you get that initial pullback, the first thing you start saying, okay, it's gonna come back down. It's gonna work towards my favor, whatever, right? Or inverse, however you trade. And before you know it, then a domino effect kicked in, right? Another hedge fund. So this thing, then there you go. All your profits going to go back away, right? Because again, at some point you got to have what they call a contingent plan, right? You got to have contingent plans, right? You may have a set target or set goal, but if you get close enough to the reality in that, and you're not flipping, level 2, watching the buyer and the sellers coming in, or a flow chart, whatever the case, or unless you got dark pool scanner, you got to be able, to be nimble at certain times too, in volatile marketplaces. What I'm saying, why? Because these are moments where people are being very finicky, and they're very skittish. And again, when we say follow the money, we're essentially saying you better follow that money, right? Because when big money turn and burn, you got to be ready to turn and burn too, right? Or risk, they say risk a day trade, or however. That's how this stuff works. Right? That's exactly how this stuff works. So good valuable lessons there, right? Valuable lessons for a lot of people out there who have, again, still yet to really cross that bridge and realizing how this stuff works from that perspective too. Your pivots and your, again, exit strategy, so to speak, and a contingent plan to that exit strategy, right? So it's a lot to that when you put it all in perspective, but it's no more than making an executive decision about, a business dealing of this, that, and the third. If this don't fall through, okay, I got this. If that don't work out, okay, here's my baseline, threshold moment. I'm not going to do no more than this. That's what makes this stuff great too, because it tests you that sometimes like that. And that's fine if it does, right? It just shows you that you was prepared. That's all it does. It shows you that you're prepared. All right. So we're ready for this. Again, regardless of how the market going to shake out for the rest of the week, because again, we're just in the middle. This is the first day, right? It's just Monday. And people already, pull the hair out. They already, stressed out somewhere. They already got, they're drinking heavy right now. They ain't at 2 p.m. They done for, right? Stick a fork in. They done for the rest of the week. They ain't got no fight in them, right? So, and this is the moment where you're like, oh, I'm straight. I'm straight. I just need to stay woke. That's my thing, right? If I stay woke, I'm gonna be ready, right? So, because this is where we're gonna make some money. We're gonna make some nice money in this moment. Right, what's going on over Sun? I see you in the building, over Chaos in the building. Right, I see you guys in the back chat over there as well, getting in. So yeah, we're prepared. So we guys got Brother Reverend, right? The Reverend Dole in the building. What's going on, family? The Reverend in the house. I don't know if you can open up your mic or not.
No, what's good? What's good, African Emporium? I see you, Chris. You know me.
What's up,
I'm buying these discounts, man. I told y'all in the back chat 3 days ago. This is the time that's gonna make me into a 6-figure brother. So I'm licking my chops while everybody. Yeah, I mean, it's literal science at this point. All the market is doing is shedding off the people we talked about on Monica's show, all the conspiracy theorists of stocks, all the, we gonna get rich tonight, the lottery ticket winners. And that's it. The person that understands the ebbs and flows of economies and markets is gonna win. I sat and I waited for this time. So
you're saving that bacon. See, I keep saying I was saving that bacon. Like I was saving that bacon.
Man, listen, fish and bread keep the poor man fed, brother.
Okay.
I'm on it, Jack. Fact. I'm down almost $1,000 on Roblox. So you know what I did? Bought more Roblox. Like I'm in there.
See, people fail to realize that when discount moments happen, we call it dollar cost averaging or principle-based investment.
Yeah, dollar cost averaging, simply.
We can discount. See, that's how people fail to realize your long-term thesis doesn't change as if the business model that this company is 100% just game over just because the broader market pulls back. That's not how this stuff works.
Right.
And so that comes with education, like you were speaking to, and what we have always professed through our means of being able to communicate with the public is that because we come from a education-centric perspective, as opposed to like we just an alert channel or someone just trying to say, hey, you just need to buy the market because no, that's not how this stuff works. People need to understand that the variables in this are what's going to make you a better person in the long run, because you're not going to leave no stone unturned, no leaf uncovered in your research methodology and your understanding of how this stuff works. Right, historically looking at old charts and realizing, okay, this stock is shown to be a champion of growth, right? Through its ebbs and flows, right? It really boils down to just being, again, patient with money, right? Patient with money, because these companies are in it to make money. They ain't here to lose money; they're here to make money. You got to be, able to find those companies that give you the best risk versus reward in that perspective, right? And take a person like yourself, of course, you're a businessman, you're an entrepreneur, you already know the rules of engagement with that, right? There's cyclicality of the business, right? There's on season, there's off season, and sometimes it's just go hard, mash the gas pedal when everything's good. So you are to prepare for uptime, downtime, and in between times, right? You know how to leverage your money and your capital when necessary, because it's a good time to throttle when it's necessary. Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, if we're like the people that's in this back chat or watching, for us, this could be one of the biggest wealth transfers of our life if we play smart.
If we play smart.
Facts. Because we don't have no more excuses on why we're not buying, right? Or why we're not doing. because at this point, especially for you guys to do your puts, traders, and options, y'all been collecting money this whole time. Like you say, saving your bacon. So if you saved it, it's time to buy. It's time to buy.
That's it.
You know.
So it's redistribution, right? It's like putting a Band-Aid on the ones that went to battle and they got beat up that day. They were the frontline soldier. You just put them to the back of the battlefield, patch them back up, add a little more, some better boots on them, give them a better pellet gun or whatever, and then you send them back out there when they're ready. That's how money works, right? It's a recycling game in that regard. In the battlefield of trying to acquire more, right? You go into war essentially with your money every day, especially as an investor, or I should say an entrepreneur, period, right? Because as we know, scared money ain't no make no money. Right, and there's a lot of uncharted problems out there that you may not be ready to deal with, but they're there. You don't panic when it happens. You just go out there and adjust. Right. So discount shocking is phenomenal. Right. When the moment is right.
It's the basis of retail. Period. Right. It's discounting. Right. Like most people shop on a cyclical basis. Right. When do you get the most discounts? During the fourth quarter. Right. Especially when people are Black Fridays or whatever. Even when they give you the guise of a discount, you see humans go to these stores and go retail crazy, right? So in this case, once again, all the market does is sheds off the people who don't know what they're doing and just think they're going to get rich quick. And, like you say, driving down the gravy. Right. You once said driving down the gravy road with biscuit wheels, right?
Oh, come through, bro. Gravy Valley biscuit wheel, bro. Like jokers don't understand the power in that.
You understand? Right. So that's what, and that's what happens. You have Chris knows. African Emporium. Most of us who are friends or fake. How many dudes you see with these fake pop-up classes and all these fake? I'm gonna teach you how to invest and make. Where are they now? Now that the market, you don't see none of them when the market goes down. You only see them when it goes up. A lot of them
AMC guys, man. Because me, I'm very neutral in that regard, but I know it to be true because a lot of those guys right now that were dependent on those guys, they hurting right now. They don't know what to do, and boy, it's ugly out there. Like I said, they on the third floor, boy. They think about going out that window right now. I'm like, don't do it, bro.
Yeah, it's just like because a real financial guru is always going to tell you now's the time to buy. Wait to get a price in your mind of what you want your company stock to be, right? And then you buy because now's the time to buy, right? Why would I want to buy if I'm a kid and I got an allowance, right, for a year and I wanted this bike, but that bike I know after Christmas is going to be $300 cheaper. I'm gonna wait till after Christmas, But we have these like this pseudo information that tells us, nah, buy it when it's $1,800 instead of when it's $1,200. It's like, it's like you guys are crazy.
It makes no sense, no sense at all. I ain't never.
Go ahead, over.
I never understood, like, why the hell would you buy something at the top and then not buy it when it's at its lowest point?
Or we would say at its perceived top. Why? Right. Because if you understand how the game works, again, we understand the value of proper technical analysis, assessment of things, right? If you see a stock basically go up 1 or 2 points in a day, and it typically has an ATR of 70, 80 cents, that ain't hard to realize. When it gets something at that $2-3 moment, unless it's something to continue to keep driving it, it's going to get a little toppy up there, right? Yeah. You come in and try to buy the very top because you like, oh, it already ran 3 because you wait to buy it when it was at $1. You waited to buy it $1.50, and as soon as you get to $3 and $3 and change, now I'm gonna go and buy it now.
You got a wrong train.
One of them moves like that, pull back.
That's the same thing with dudes and sneakers and stuff like that. They buy these shoes super early. I'm like, bro, you could have got these at retail. I had to tell Rob Bourne that. I'm like, bro, you spent $400 on these trash Jordans. I could have got you them for $200. Like, it's the convenience and the demand at the time is the reason why people do this. It's an emotional
buying.
What's the psychology behind it, right? Psychology.
It's an ego. It's an ego thing, though. It's really ego, right? It's literally like we see it all the time. Look at Facebook. A person say, I got 2 Apple shares at $1.80. Like, okay, and I got 40 at $1.08. Like, right. It doesn't really matter.
It's math,
right?
Man.
And it's math, and it's this. We have this like pseudo boasting mentality. And we like to, and like we always talked about this before, the average buyer is let me not say average, the neophyte, the beginner, right? Like he's just happy to be talked down to, right? And then he feels like he lets these people like pump him up into buying these bad, hard, these silly stocks, and then when it crashes, then it's like you say, the sky's falling, and this and that and the third. Listen, if the sky fell once, it'll be something called cloud insurance. It ain't happened yet. At the end of the day, it's just an ebb and flow. You take advantage of it. You get your money, and you stay steadfast and understand what you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's a timing thing. Like the timing is very important when it comes to this, and people don't look at it. This is your money. You know, if you don't value every cent, then I understand. You know, you feeling that way. But if you value every cent, you want to get everything you can get out of it. If you can get it at like right here on the chart, when SPY hit 420, you know, if you didn't get that, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at that. Oh, that's an L. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to buy it a little bit higher. I want that 420. I don't want 421.08. I want 420. You know what I'm saying? I want it at the lowest I can get it.
And not the marijuana 420. We talking about the spy 420.
yeah, not the marijuana 420, but $420 a share. I want that price. You know, I don't want anything else. You know, that's penny pinching. You know, you got people out there like that. And it's, you know, it's another thing. People is trying to race to do this thing. Man, you got to be like Warren Buffett. You got to be a turtle when it comes to this. Slow, patient, and strategic. Slow,
marathon, not a sprint. You know, we say that for a reason, because like, convince me how, you know, companies are going to stop innovating. Convince me how, you know, humans are going to stop, you know, engineering things and coming up with better so-called quote unquote mousetraps, as if these stocks that you're seeing today, you know, are it. Like, there's nothing else after this. Like, make that make sense to me. So I always tell people that for that same reason, you know, industry change every 10 years. Of course, we all know that. But a lot of people need to continue to keep hearing that, so that way they feel like they're never, like, you know, out of opportunities, in the aspect of markets, right? Because people said that probably about Microsoft, you know, from let's say 85 to 1995. Oh, it's over. Like, no. Okay, where's Microsoft today? Same thing with probably Apple or something like that, right? So you just got to understand how, you know, the value of things in that regard. And that's a, you know, a curated craft that comes along with understanding, like we like to say, understanding the fundamentals of things, right? How money works in the consumer-driven economy. The technical now is how to, you know, pretty much put training wheels on that money based upon a chart, you know, on the growth perspective, logarithmic chart, whatever, right? Or linear chart. And then the last thing is, again, the psychology, right, of money, right? You know, how do people feel about it, right? What are they doing with their money, right? What's the social norm that's driving people to spend money on certain things, right? Is it again, marketing advertisement blitz? Again, holiday season, over was speaking about that. When they know people are going to be more freely to want to spend money during that time of year because they've been programmed to what? That's when they're going to have to spend money. So it's all relevant, guys. I tell people every day, man, this stuff is like if you consume more, if people already put the label on, like say black people, like we consume more than anybody on the planet, then by way of that, we should be the best investors ever on the planet. Once we learn how this stuff really works. Why? Because we know what moves the needle, right? And if people chasing your dollars, I mean the buyers, or excuse me, the buyers, the sellers of these goods and services are chasing your money because they know you're gonna spend it. They're doing the same thing. They just in the, you know, keeping tabs and you know, following exactly what's trending, and they providing a service or a product for you in that moment. So it's all relevant, guys. So it's hard to set this sometimes. But that's why you got to step back, like you said, over Chris, and you got to get the education. You got to understand how this stuff really works, and then go out there and apply. You'll figure out in the long run that you was already built for this. You were built for this, right? It teaches a lot about yourself too. So shout out to you guys, because you guys get it, man, and have a lot of knowledge to share with a lot of people who are, you know, still yet to kind of, you know, branch out there. And like Over Chris was saying, there's no, you know, look, there's no rush to get, you know, to jump out the window, right? There's no rush to do that. There's no need to. Take your time, learn it properly, thoroughly. Let the knowledge lead you, right? Let the knowledge lead you, right? You know, like Over Under was saying, don't let your ego lead you, because that's gonna get you in trouble. Right? Back in the old day, you know, old folk, you tell you, you know, the old men tell you, don't let your willie lead you, because you're gonna get you in trouble, right? Get you in trouble. So that's important to realize that. Use your brains. This stuff ain't really complicated, as one would kind of have you think it is. It really isn't. Of course, it's math involved. It's understanding how business works, but there's also the element of what everyday ubiquitous, commerce that we just all know all too well, as citizens, to the planet. You doing business, either a best in breed or a second or third or top tier or whatever. You're getting a chance to see that stuff in real time because you live through it yourself or you're a user, right? Yourself. So it's really good, man. Stuff is great. Like I said, I love moments like this. Of course, no one wants to see if they're in pain because they may have what they call some paper loss today. I mean, it ain't a loss to your sale. Again, if you got dry powder sitting on the side and you at your threshold of what they call dollar cost averaging in, if you at your 10% or your 15, your 30%, stick to your discipline, right? If you feel like, you may have a little more leeway, let it pull back another 5 and you may get it cheaper then so be it. You already got your guardrails on there and you sleep better at night knowing that you're mapping out your money. No harm, no foul. That's all they're doing, just mapping out your future growth, right? So, again, being built for this is great. Again, clutch, right? We say you got what you call it, Chris? You got to have that clutch gene, right? You got to activate that clutch gene.
Yeah, you gotta have that clutch gene, man.
Yeah, it'll definitely protect you and save you on the back end.
That clutch badge.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right, some jokers got the rabbit foots and the turtle leg and everything else. The juju, you wham, whatever it is, when it's time.
Talk.
We ready. You know what I'm saying? We ready for it. So I'm loving it, man. So we got here about an hour and 15 before the market closes down for the day. Again, we're seeing basically kind of what we saw the previous day, so to speak. We kind of rallied early on the previous one, then we dumped on the back half. We kind of going through the same thing here, even though we waited to rally somewhat midday, and we're kind of playing the back half of the market here, as you can see here on the SP 500 here. It's just decompressing some of that straight line buying straight up. You kind of playing that around some key moving averages here. Of course, the VWAP there and 20 moving average. That's the ones I have on this little chart. If the bull's going to really try to, kind of, I guess save face for the day after taking such a flogging, then they're definitely going to have to be trying to pivot off this, no lower than 425 here and playing back towards the VWAP. If they're successful able to do that, then we'll see how the energy kind of unfolds tomorrow. Clearly, we know that we have some oversold readings on the chart, on a bigger level, just kind of going down here, and we've been oversold, going back since the 18th, right? All right, so no secret there in that regard. Just looking at steady, downtrend here on those succession of candles there, right? And now you're just kind of playing for any particular hard notable pivot that you may get, and the lifeline will be just that. If Jerome Powell comes out and try to play the market in a way where he, knows he has a hawkish disposition or policy getting ready to come into play, but speak a very dovish tone, that's all Wall Street would need to kind of have a rally. They will rally off a ham sandwich. Not making this up. Wall Street wants to have a reason to rally. They just that's what they do, right? They want to deploy capital, right? Because they got billions of it, right? They got billions of it. No matter. You may see a market pulling back like that. You think somebody losing a lot of money, like we just said earlier, somebody making a lot of money too, and they can't wait to deploy that money back into the market, right? So that's where we come in. Like, okay, yeah, we want to get that too. We want that's my side. Like, must be two sides. That's me. I'm two sides in the market. I ain't gonna lie. I'm definitely two sides. What the rapper say in that song? Must be two sides. What the name?
Shawty low.
Play the Shawty low. Must be two sides. But that's me every day. I play that thing long and short. You even get me on this old one side, bias side, value of the market. Why? Because there's money to be made on both sides. Because I'm thinking long term like everybody else. I want to make me some money constantly when I can, and I can still add to my position that are what lag right now. Add the dry powder to them right now. I made this little 400 here. Let me add that to this stock. Make this little 1,000 here. Then I'm gonna add that money there. That's how this stuff works. Because long term, if they are good, great opportunities in business models, they will work out.
Yeah, and it just really helps too to just understand those buy profiles and those sell profiles and how they invert and reverse. And I love coupling that with the seasonality. That just gives you a good frame to work from.
Facts. And so that, again, it's going to teach some people a lot about, what they need to kind of focus on or work on, or, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep riding it until, it's time to adjust the audible. But nonetheless, these are great moments, again, just for skill, skill harvesting. I guess we call it that, skill harvesting, right? Because you're learning a lot about markets in these moments. The psychology of how people feel about markets in certain, real time. They stop loss getting rated, right? They panic selling, right? You seeing on level 2, sitting there putting, spoofing the bid, jumping on, jumping off, right? They don't know if they want to sell or buy. They you sitting there watching, like that's what definitely what the Wall Street sitting there doing, just watching, looking at retail. They scrambling, they're scrambling like roaches. We got them. So we're ready again, like I said, and we're gonna focus on that and keeping people calm and just realizing the reality of this, right? It's not, again, it's not for the, it's not for the unprepared. I said that, right? It's not for those who are unprepared. If you're unprepared, don't force it, right? Take your time, learn it, realize how this stuff works, and you'll be fine. Right? Stick to, what you can do well, find your niche, do it well, learn it, to the best of your ability, transform as you need to, right? And when it's necessary, I should say. And I think everything will be fine in that regard, right? All right, so that's it. So again, outside that, y'all know we got, again, it's a big week of earnings. No secret there. Markets are poised to deal with that. One way or the other, they're gonna have to deal with it, right? A lot of money gonna be made. We saw that with Netflix. Obviously, Netflix was the kind of the poster child for what markets, perceive what may happen to some of the other tech darlings. Don't jump out too soon, because it might, markets are already trying to price in the fact that they know people are going to be trying to do that or bet against, some of these stocks. So just be cautious is my point. Because, markets are not predictable as much as we probably, sometimes we could definitely put a, good stamp on it. And other times it'll try to throw you for a loop. So just be careful is my point. So we got earnings, a few coming out, not a whole lot coming out tonight. There's some decent ones though, but we have just looking here at some of these names here. We'll kind of go a couple earning plays and we'll call it a little session here. This was powerful here, quick and straight to the point, right? Get Joker the good information because they need it. And we'll kind of go play the backside of what may come, throughout the rest of the week, because we're definitely going to see some more expansion. What I mean by that, meaning the market gonna move, right? It's gonna move some more. It ain't done moving. We ain't finna go sideways for the rest of the week is my point. So this is what we got coming down the pipeline tonight. Look at them names there. You got IBM, Steel Dynamics, still got some fintech and banks in there, some junior banks, right? This is the time the junior banks begin to release their earnings, right? Some of the big names go first, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all those guys, and then you got some of these junior banks, they start release their numbers. So as you see there, yeah, they're gonna be popping, right? You got some of them baked in still. You got some Sharon, South State, Crane, Zion. I mean, y'all see the names here, right? So good little lineup, right? So transparency, I got me some puts on pet meds, right? Right, I saw what happened to Chewy, right? I remember I hit Chewy across the head, right? You can start going online about them pet stuff through Chewy. I guess they start wanting to go into some of the real stores. Who knows? But that's an indication of some of that high growth that we was getting through the pandemic. It might be telling off a little bit. Not that people still ain't buying stuff for their pets, but that at the extent when you home and board and got a little extra stimulus checks and stuff like that, the government was doing. Yeah, it's easy to kind of, go a little overboard. But now people using more credit card to spend than actual real money. Joke gonna be a little bit more,
Right. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
That's gonna kind of
and Christmas, the real Christmas, which is tax season, is coming in about a month and a half. So retail will be buoyed again, undergirded by the random emotional. I finally got some money in my pocket again, spending. So all of it is strategic, right? It's almost
hitting the cracker.
You're playing
right
a game.
Now. They broke down.
Right. We're in the. I spent everything, on Christmas for my kids, my wife, my side piece. Now I gotta, bank it back up. Tax season. It's just ebbs and flows.
Next lump sum. You're right, and it's unfortunate for a lot of people because they dry now, and the markets are what pulling back. Like a lot of them didn't have dry pot on the side because they didn't plan for that rainy day, like the 3 Little Pigs, right? They built their house with wet tissue. They went all in at the top. They didn't wait for their discount, so they can't even pad the bottom a little bit. They got to wait till the market
Right.
reverse or they get some cash. So it's just a good
Right.
moment of
And
what
this
learn how to
is
be a good steward with your money. You know.
right. And this is why I'm a big proponent. You know, this is why I had thousands of dollars in gold, right? Because you know, when the market drops, gold usually go up, which it has.
Hedge.
So now I have excess thousands to play with. Now that the market, once the market bottoms out, you know, I can always buy more gold, right, at a turtle's pace. But when the market drops the way it
Gold
is,
ain't going nowhere.
now I have excess. Right, exactly. I have excess income to extract from that to buy thousands upon thousands of new stocks. So, you know, it's just it's a seesaw. You understand?
It is.
And we just have to be more strategic about it.
Totally agree with that. Facts. So lessons learned when money is earned, right? And that's the importance of this, because when you make money, you don't lose focus of how you made it. You're supposed to learn how to protect it and grow it from that point. And, you know, again, these are just those exemplary moments where it matters, because we saw the gravy train biscuit wheels, right? The Gravy Valley biscuit wheels, all, you know, basically 2020 because of the feds, 2021 definitely because of the feds, right? So now that, you know, somewhat that's beginning to kind of wane a little bit, you say, okay, well, yeah, I should be taking profit a little bit here at some of these peak valuations. The earning calls were already kind of giving that in their guidance. They were saying, okay, yeah, we kind of hit our threshold here. Now we got to go into some kind of form of a R&D spin, right? Or a CapEx spin. We had to kind of prepare, because if not, the only thing they got that they can do is what? Do buybacks, right? That's just, when you start doing more buybacks, that means they kind of hit peak moment. That's another indication right there moment. And so guess what? If you look at third quarter, I think the buybacks increased substantially from companies that were, you know, deploying capital into just buying their shares back at that point, because they knew at that point it's getting ready to go through what? A drought season. So there's a lot of little small things that indicate to you when things are getting ready to make a shift. These little nuances, right? These are just, you know, tidbits or nuggets of education that you learn over time. You realize how markets, again, are faring based upon certain signs of cyclicality values that we talk about. It's all relevant at the end of the day. So again, being a student of the game, you'll learn so much of these little secrets of Wall Street, and you'll be better prepared to deal with it, right? So this is an organic growth moment of where you have to put up or shut up, because fundamentals have to come back to the market to matter for a moment. And exactly that's what happened with Netflix. The fundamentals caught up with them. Eventually, it was going to catch up with them, right? And the fundamentals caught up with Netflix. They couldn't, you know, get away from their subscriber growth, you know, coming in light. So that was the only catalyst that I needed to figure out. And, you know, I'm just using it as a case study. That was the only thing people was worried about. They didn't care about the revenue. They didn't care about the EPS. Are y'all going to meet them numbers? Why? Because if everybody going back to normal, then yeah, we need to redeploy that capital somewhere to these cheaper stocks. I need to go buy, you know, maybe go buy me some catalogs, right? Or some McDonald's shares, right? All right, or General Mills, right? So, you know, these consumer staples, and, you know, this is the reality how markets work, right? So we're watching that. And then the commodity ones too, that'll still benefit because high inflationary environment. So you got steel dynamics. That's going to be one interesting to watch tonight. Why? Because what's the price of steel right now? Look what happened to bauxite, right? Or aluminum, right? We hit Alcoa last week. I was waiting for Alcoa, right? Because I knew Alcoa was going to mash out in a good way. So I bought calls in Alcoa and the earnings for that same reason, because aluminum is ubiquitous and it's in the high inflationary environment. Aluminum has been going through the roof lately. So it's to understand little stuff like that, you know, just how markets work. It'll definitely help, you know, give you a better position, right, in the market. So, of course, that's, like I said, these are the ones we got pipeline, you know, they're coming down the pipeline tonight. Tomorrow gonna be popping too, right? Tomorrow you got some juggernaut, you got some Dows in there, you got some Dow 30s in there too. Look at 3M sitting up there looking big and bold. Look at GE, right? You got some names in this one: Xerox, Johnson & Johnson, Raytheon, right? You know what's going on right now in Russia, right? Some of these defensive plays like that, you know, it's a lot of little stuff going on. Then you got some more of these junior banks, Lockheed Martin, American Express. That's gonna tell a big story, right? How people faring right now in the credit market. The fact that interest rates are starting to get to the place where they're going to start creeping up, you know, small as it may be, quarter basis point, a lot, but it's enough to move the needle. This when banks make money, and some of these little insurance bases like that make money because they need interest rates to be high to charge more, right? But they still got to get through all that what they dealt with before, when it, you know, it's been cheap for so long, whatever, right? And then defaults are probably getting ready to be a bigger problem because people are spending more credit now than they have in cash liquidity at hand. That's another scenario that these kind of lending companies got to deal with too. So just putting it out there, and then we know the whole deal with Johnson Johnson pretty much. Again, the list is endless in this regard, but a lot of good stuff in the pop off this week, man. It's gonna be wide open. I can't wait. I'm like, I can't wait. I already got me some mousetrap set, and I'm adjusting accordingly. And we did well last week. We look to do well again, the next week or so coming up with all these earnings or whatever, seeing how the markets work. So again, make sure you guys stay tuned to the or should I say stay tuned, but make sure you have the economic calendar, in your forte. Of course, people who engage the market on a day-to-day basis, so to speak. So you can kind of know some of the general catalysts that are coming down the pipeline that may be useful for you, because we do have a big meeting Wednesday with the Feds. Of course, we keep reiterating that for a reason, because that's going to be a very important readout that he has to give to set the stage for what's coming in March, right? We're literally, I would say 1 month away from March, because it's basically about February, right? You start looking at that aspect, and Wall Street likes to be a month or so in advance. That's why I'm making the point about that. They want to be early, right? Just in case, the crap hit the fan, Wall Street want to be early. So I'm putting it out there now, so that way we understand it, right? So just be cautious of that, or the importance of that, and how one would need to kind of participate with the proper due diligence, or what they need to kind of be prepared for that. So that's just tonight and tomorrow. Then of course the entire week. I mean, this list right here, this something right here out of a Peyton Manning playbook, or whoever your favorite quarterback is. These are their best plays. That's what it'll be like. It'll be like it's their best plays. The amount of names in this little week alone, the market caps in these companies right here, you're talking trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. Apple alone sitting up here near $2.7 trillion of market cap. Tesla sitting there around about 800 billion, close to $1 trillion. I mean, the list is endless. Boeing, even though they've having a problem, McDonald's, it's finna be wide open this week, right? So I'll do this real quick. What's going on, Sister Angie? I see you in the building. What's going on, Ilba?
Hi, I was in and out. I had to come off, take a call, come back on.
And you handle business. Now you know how this stuff go. We love it.
It's crazy because I've been liquidating from like the past couple of weeks, being mad because I can't really get in with you. I was like, I can't. Right. But it's so funny that because I don't even like taking anything out when anything is going down. I'd rather buy more. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny. It's just interesting to watch, and my sons are getting more involved. They actually doing some paper trading this week, so I'm so excited about that. So we learning, but just mostly on the bystand, mostly bystanding right now.
What we call listening and learning, right? That's a listening and learning moment.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. So that's awesome. And again, I enjoy the fact that you always kind of proceed yourself with keeping your kids involved with what you're learning in real time, so they learn in tandem, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's one of our biggest things that we advocate, because we need these generations to come behind us to be more financial literate, because we know they've been sold a bill of goods through the education system. They're gonna really prepare them for the real world.
Mm-hmm.
That ship been sailed. So jokers need to learn how to be more entrepreneur mindset and how to work money. Mm-hmm. That's how they're gonna survive, learning how to work money properly.
Mm-hmm. So this is my 30-year-old and my 20. How old are you? So 23.
Oh yeah, you still with your daughter? You still in Florida, right? So you with your daughter?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I dealt with her. So shout out to her and my blessings to the newborn and baby. So that's great.
Like an alien in Florida. It's like a fish out of water. It's hard to concentrate on anything in such a new environment for me. I'm not used to this.
Yeah, you built for this. You got that. You got that what they call that tropic gene. So don't you dare act like you used to that.
I know it's freezing right now. I'm feeling like it's freezing right now.
Yeah, New York and Florida is diametric opposite. That's weird too, because New York give you 100% diametric opposite of Florida, right?
Yeah. It's like, what is it called? It's like 50 degrees today. It's like 50, 60, and I'm freezing. I'm like, I've been under the
I'm
blanket.
telling you, that's cold in Florida.
That's cold in Florida, but Jacob, boy, Jacob be out there with a fur coat on, looking like Rick Ross. Like, boy, what you doing? Boy, this Florida, boy, you mosquito gonna run you up out of here, boy.
Got gloves on with a beanie, everything.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
right.
saying? When you go up 5 degrees, the mosquito gonna run you up out that little fur coat.
Oh no.
Florida, bro.
I have my toothpaste for those mosquito bites. As soon as you feel a drop of toothpaste, they go away.
Yeah, you old school with it.
Anyway.
Yeah, so this is great. Like I said, we've just been analyzing markets and kind of preparing for what's to come. You know, like I said, we've been saving this bacon. We've been building for this, and no harm, no foul for us in that regard. Because again, discipline always going to lead to the dollars. And these opportunities now with the markets are opening up like this, expanding. Oh, this is when the gravy gets really good. Right, it get good right now. You know, and so it's just time to eat. This is time to eat and be comfortable knowing that you're prepared. You know, so whether it be learning and just kind of observing the market or paper trading, because y'all know I'm a big proponent of paper trade for that reason, right? I have real trades on and paper trading at the same time. I want to see neck to neck how well my thesis is faring out. That's another way of back testing. That's another way of back testing your money. And so again, every little thing you could do to better your situation, it's all joy.
So my sons, they like the pocket options, and you could paper trade some current crypto on the pocket options, which is something that's not like what you could do on like you can't do options on like Robin, right? But you could do it on the pocket options, which is cool. So yeah, they're doing that. So
very good. So there you go. You the vanguard. You know, we say, mate, you making it happen. You preparing the future. You know, that's all that matters at the end of the day, getting them ready. So when they take control of these companies, like you see on the screen here, so they'll be able to analyze them thoroughly. You know what I'm saying? At young ages, man. And to me, that's glorious, man. I can just see it now. Tons of money being made. Tons of money being made.
Thank you.
Shout out to Sister Angie, guys, and leading by example. A lot of us, we take a playbook out of that. If you got nieces, nephews, get them involved, right? They may not be your immediate kids, but they're your kids by community standard and blood value in a byway. But get these kids involved, get them activated, let them start understanding the consumer aspect of their life, and on the cultural aspect, because they're trying to have everything that they feel like their peers got. If they figure out how to invest in them same companies, it'll be game over. It'll be game over. If they got excited about investing in the Apple phones that they're using, the Levi jeans they want to put on, they get excited about, okay, if I buy one pair of jeans, I'm also gonna buy one share. It's that kind of mentality.
Exactly.
That's when you're doing the right thing as a parent, right? Just let that man in.
It's true. That's why the bigger one, the 30-year, he does the collecting with the Nikes and does collecting with a lot of the little figurines and different puzzles,
nice.
All these types of collectibles. Yeah. So I'm just glad that all of us have our own style already, which is cool. I'm just trying to get them into some, like, make their own niche in investing.
That's it. I say find your own niche.
From the best.
From everybody. It's family, because Ubuntu, but you say Ubuntu to death for a reason, but because we're gonna get this stuff one way or the other. And they say however that saying go, or we're gonna get it one way or the other.
Ubuntu.
Yeah, we understand that this stuff is like great, right? Like who wouldn't want to learn how to make their own money, right? How to get money, right, on their own time and under their own dime. So for us, again, we're excited.
I wanted to ask you, did y'all talk about Moderna and Pfizer already?
No, we didn't really go over any specific stock. I used the conversation more or less just to deal with the broader market reality of what people are dealing with right now, because a lot of people are panicking, a lot of people are poised, and they profiting right now because of all this, and it's a sentiment value where on a psychological level it was a great moment to kind of really get people to see the nuances of how markets really work. And what better lesson is when you see markets are pulling back, because that's when it seems like people are feeling the most pain in their mind. Of course, they think they are, but they fail to realize that discounts are happening all around them in this moment too. And industry changes and sector rotations. Of course, if you use the idea to speak about, Moderna or Pfizer, we know what's going on with that scenario. Why? Because they have a certain actually a banner or person or value that they need to answer to, and that because it becomes a thing of what, you know, are people getting back to a form of normalcy in regard to that of how that will affect, you know, the need or the use case of having the vaccines, right? Because that's a very binary value in that regard, because they were born out of necessity, right? It was born out of necessity. And
yeah, but
remember,
we got to keep Merck in mind, because you know those pills are coming. You know those pills, and this is all preparation to transition over to the pills.
Therapeutics, right? We talked about
Right.
the morning, you know, called the morning after pill for COVID. That's basically
Yeah,
what I call it.
exactly.
The morning
I
after
said
pill
the
for
same
COVID.
thing to my son. Yeah.
You went to party hard all last night, but I know I around still would have had that Rona. But let me
Yeah.
pop this pill in the morning. I'm straight. I'm straight.
Right. That's what, you know. They'll let whatever started snowball, but they got these little pills to hook that up. So you know, we have to keep an eye on those things coming up.
By all intents and purposes, again, and being a student of the game again puts you in a position where you learn all aspects of the market. That's why I love this craft, man, because you get a little bit of insight on all these different businesses. When before you will only be privy to it if you just have a real, you know, need to do some research on it, right? This gives you a hands-on, you know, a window into all of these different businesses and how the business model work, you know, the different, you know, aspects of the businesses and how they make their money, the nuances of the jargon that's being used. You can kind of follow me. People talking about TAM and total addressable market and SaaS, subscription as a service, and MAUs and DAU, daily active use, monthly active use, all this stuff. Like people like, what's all this stuff? This is just how money is being made. Essentially, that's what it's being counted, you know, through some of them, you know, different metrics. So again, you're learning a lot about business, essentially, you know, as an investor, you know. So again, I'd have it no other way, you know. Of course, being in a position where I could have learned it a lot earlier in my life, that's the only caveat, right? Of course, we all say that to this day. Imagine we got this when we was like 10 years old. Like, where would you guys be today? Like, it's not even funny how, like, where we'll be today, right? Because again, we wouldn't have been asking for Tonka trucks and Barbie dolls on our birthday. Like, no, buy me shares of stock. No, spend that, you know, 200 on some shares of you know, Apple for me. Like 20, 30 years ago for some of you. Bruh, where you be today? But that Lambo be out there sucking up all the
I wish I had
carbon
those
dioxide.
Tonkas and Barbies from that age. They'd be
My
worth
point.
something
You see
now.
what I'm saying? So that's why we got a future now to, you know, put forth in terms of the next generation, and we still can, you know, eat good in our late, you know, our stages now, but it's the whole purpose of why we are in this as well, to now to realize that there's going to be another Apple, it's going to be another, you know, Microsoft or whatever, right? Innovation doesn't stop, and so we're ready to deal with that when we see it come along, and we'll know how to read the tea leaves and make sure we find the right one. Right. So I'm excited for that again. So really good information, guys. And I hope you guys been benefiting from this. Like I said, as the title description of this video or this live stream is very self-explanatory, right? Don't panic. It's organic. Don't panic, right? This is organic. These are natural moments in the market that needs to happen. It needs to happen. It needs to pull back. It needs to cool off. You need this downtrend so you can flush out some of the what, you know, those who've been kind of, you know, overstaying their welcome. They got greedy. They could have sold for a lot higher in some of these cases for some of these plays, or at least rebalance some of that capital, because the goal is to make money. Again, I repeat, the goal is to make money, to profit. And it's okay to trim some of your hedges, right? You're gonna have overgrown bushes at some point. Look, go and trim some of that money, redeploy that capital to some of the more undeserved laggards that you may have, and then wash, rinse, repeat. Right? It's that simple, guys. Wash, rinse, repeat. So I see somebody say the one aim of these financiers is the world controlled by the creation of inextinguishable debt. Henry Ford, pulling back from the crates, right? Going to get some of the old school, you know, mantras and principles, and understanding how markets and stuff work. And again, and it's in these moments when these things become very valuable, right? It's very, very, very a very lucid moment, right? In these moments, because again, you have to be able to see markets for what they are, and then again, you can figure out a way to capitalize on them as well in these moments too, because it gives you the duality. It gives you the duality, right? Right? They get you that duality. If it ain't working to the upside, guess what? You got the downside. Oh yeah, it's no such thing as you being unpatriotic just because you short the market. Like whoever telling you that, if people tell you that you shouldn't short the market or short America, look, look, America is just shorting America. Let me repeat, America is shorting America right now, and you the ones trying to act like you Captain Saver. It's like, look, America can't wait to short itself because it want a discount too, right? So again, you know, whatever floats people boat, but you know, we realize that we're opportunists for a reason, and we're gonna make sure that we capitalize, right? And so I'm excited, man. So you know, kudos to everybody that's been tuning in. Again, a lot to learn from this. We ready. You know, again, this is your clutch moment. A lot of this is people's clutch moment, and it's like it's gonna be a lot of money made this week because again, we just looked at that earnings calendar, guys. That thing loaded with some heavyweights. Loaded. So you know somebody finna make some money one way or the other. So hopefully it's us. You know, hopefully we make more than we possibly give back if we are engaged in the markets. Of course, you know, have a plan as always, right? You know, seek that of your higher research methodology power to make sure you do the right things to be in a position to get it if you're gonna get it, and then let chips fall as they may, right? Of course, have your protection in play, and let's just see how the stuff turns out, right? So we're calm now, right? So we had to get through all the doom and gloom. Everybody took a deep breath, and you know the family came through in the building and gave y'all some good wisdom, right? Shout out to everybody that came through on the panel, just gave y'all some wisdom. For you guys might be listening who may be new out there. Again, all this stuff is relevant. Even the new family that came on, we all speak the same, a very, you know, I should say a very, how do I say it? How would I present that? It's like we speak that kind of same language, right? We got this same little kind of slang language. We know it is to be money, of course, in this regard, but and it's great, right? Because you can have conversation with people who understand what you actually talk about for a change. This stuff is great, guys. We may be a small little band, you know, bunch or band of brothers and sisters in this, but man, this stuff is awesome because we're sitting there game planning around money. What better conversation or topic they have to deal with? As of all the stuff people out there, you know, dealing with right now, because there's some stuff out there that's, you know, it's kicking everybody in the teeth. But we're sitting there discussing money. Again, what's better than that at the moment right now, right? Unless you got a newborn baby somewhere or something like that, right? What's better than that? You know, or you got married somewhere. But y'all get my point, right? So it's to be commended and it's awesome. So right now I feel so much, you know, better in regard to being able to share this moment because I know some people need to hear this, or they need to kind of be able to, you know, circle these thoughts around, you know, the think tank of people and came on and kind of gave you a understanding of what they're doing right now in this moment in this market. And so that's why I love this because it definitely takes the community to get there. So, you know, this is the moment where we just say what? Vibes. How did we say in the Caribbean? Vibes, right? Vibes, right? Vibes, man.
Vibes.
Right? Vibes, man, right?
Vibes.
Right? Whatever the song say, don't kill my vibe or something. Don't steal my vibe, but don't kill my vibe. You know, so we're running right into there. So we're speaking about it. Let me play some of that bean footage real quick here.
Excellent.
And they say already vibes. We built for this, guys. So again, you know, moments like this is when you kind of bring your A game. It's when you bring your A game, guys. So we appreciate everybody. Again, you know, just kind of putting a little bit more context at the end of the day. Here we got about maybe about 40 minutes, close to 42 minutes for the bell ring. We are inside of the power hour session of the market. We got the SP maybe down maybe about 1 point. Where we at down now? Maybe like about 1.37%. We were down near 3%. We were almost getting close to limit down almost, boy. Woo. Yeah. I was waiting for that. Like, boy, we might get a limit down there you want to, boy. It's been a minute since we had one of them joking. But you see markets are kind of bowing back a little bit here in the back end of the day here, which is typical again, because, you know, the dip buyers are kind of, you know, stepping up, right? You know, they stepping up, you know, that's the best way we can put it, because they want to play some of this upside potential bounce if it's necessary, you know. Now, if it holds or not, that's to be determined, right? Of course, that's the whole value in this. But for the most part, there's money being made on both sides, like we discussed earlier, and that's fine, right? That's fine. Again, people want to deploy capital, right? They want to put money into the markets, and, you know, again, you got, just like we're just sitting there discussing, I say, you know, we got to hold that 425. If it comes down, that'd be the least, you know, the line in the sand to hold the bounce. And of course, they bounced a whole point earlier. They did it at 426, which makes sense because there you go, right? You top of that little, you know, cup and handle there. If you want to use that as a bottom pivot there lies, you know, where you had a little pivot point there. And the market just kind of rallied up, you know, decompressed some of that, you know, that big move there, bounced out the RSI, and then you making another test at that previous high, right? The retracement of that. So we'll see how we close out here again in the next 40 minutes or so. If the buyers or the bulls can stay, patient here and see if they can kind of pull back some of the daily loss that we got out of the entire market, right? Of course, looking at it on the bigger picture here, we see that we got some resistance up here near that, 433. No secret there, of course. If you want to bring it down even to 430, it's gonna be 432 and some change here, 432, 60, 50, whatever. So some little benchmark places that it's not hard to kind of map out. If you're trying to play the back end of the market, you kind of know what's going on here. Outside of that, again, the bigger picture still looks they look like a Nike check. Look at Nike. It look like a Nike check while the market to pull back. God, dog. The market wearing Nikes right now. Boy, got them LeBrons on, right? They're trying to hang in there. But so big week again, still tech laden on the heavy side of things with the companies like Apple and Tesla and all that stuff. So if the markets are having a chance to kind of prove if it's gonna get a little get back, it has it got some big shoes to fill, literally. If we're gonna get back to any kind of place of potential comfort, as the markets have decompressed some of that the euphoria over the past 2 weeks plus, right? Because we backed the market out a little bit further, then it looks real, man. They look like a good discount, don't it? Don't necessarily mean it can't go lower. You best believe don't mean it can go lower, right? Because it definitely can go lower, right? It can go a lot lower, right? And that's fine. So far my little dip buy is paying because I rolled it down and now I'm riding it back up. So I bought that dip around 421. I added around that 425. I think I got about 4 contracts in the SPY. What I got right now? Yeah, I got 4 as of now, 4 of them. So up on that trade now, around about near $400. Right? See, that's how it works. Up on that trade now, about $400. Right? So we'll see how things kind of turn out in the back end of the day, and that's just a little back end of the day scalp, right? Because like I said, my bigger trades came early in the day from my swing trades, right? So most of them I closed them out with some profit. Or did well on those swing trades, and I'm holding up. Just pets is the only one I actually planning to earnings tonight, right? Even though some good ones out there, but I'm just managing risk, right?
But you had got them for the 26.
The spot contracts.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and only because I burnt through a lot of my wasn't this because I play about 4 or 5 different accounts. I burnt through a lot of my day trades on my TD one, right? So that's the only reason. But I got them strategically for that, right? That's why I saved them. I saved them. I said I'm gonna save them. I'm gonna save this one here for for the midweek push, right? Going into the Jerome Powell speech, right? I'm just again, I know it sounds weird to me to say that because I don't want people to think, okay, I don't have a thesis. I do have a thesis or game plan and play, but I do have the mindset as an executive mindset that he's going to try to walk a real tight rope and fine line, because people fail to realize that Jerome Powell, before he became the Federal Reserve Chair, he was actually a trader, right? Some Federal Reserve people come from different walks. Like some of them are educators, right? Some of them are more, on that side. Then you got some of them who come from that market side. Jerome Powell was a trader, right? So he feels this in his natural bones as a trader. Like, man, this hurt, right? But he still he had to succumb to policy, right? He still got a boss too, right? Even though they ain't got no ball, but he got a ball. He got an answer to right now. That's probably getting beat up in the polls right now. Right? So he got to make sure he kind of honor that. But if he can speak to the markets in a way to try to counter, like he's been able to do so masterfully since he's been in that seat, that may offer the market somewhat possibly a relief rally. Again, we don't know to the extent to how far to carry him, but that's why I was looking at the chart, backed it out. So for me, I was like, I don't want to do and I could, close it out now and take this little profit. It's up like what, 450 now, around about 450. I could take that. But I say to myself, okay, for the earnings tonight, we don't got nothing that's really going to be heavily tech centric laden that can cause the market to kind of, knock out, drag it to the bottom like a Netflix did, right? So I have a little window of safe because we know 420 was close to that of a no gaps down the area we're bouncing off of. So the 26 gives me a little leeway window, right? It gives me a little cushion. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they retrace this tire and move to the backside, it's very viable and possible. It can happen. But when you see that kind of strength of buying, like, that straight line up, like that there, that's a lot of algos. That's a lot of dark pool buying, right? That's a lot of calls baked in there too, because people just dying for a reprieve, right? Your RSI, of course, clearly, and this is on the short term, but the daily RSI. Look at that. All that pink down there underneath them big candle, that's oversold like a mug, right? Rarely do you get, 5-6 days in succession of just that level of egregious overselling, oversold value, and you don't have some kind of form of bounce. That's just the rules of engagement. Again, you know what I'm saying? Y'all guys know this too, right? At some point you got to get a bounce, right? So I'm just using that as a combination, within my thesis. I think this is good enough for what they call a statutory bounce. Now, again, giving it a couple of days, that'll be great. And see, I mitigate the risk. I didn't, because I could have went deep in the money, right? But they were expensive, right? Because you're gonna pay for that, for this risk at this point. I just mapped out, the place in which where the money's at, right? So if you look at the candles here, really quick, right? We know that, of course, we had the massive gap down, up here around 437.50, right? The top of that candle sits at around the highs on that candle is 448, right? So roughly, you say in the middle, or roughly around about 440, right? So the middle of that, where you are about 440. So I looked at that candle, say that if I'm gonna buy some calls off the pivot here, I buy those, right? I buy those 440 calls for 2 days out. If we just make it back to 435, 436, even 437.50, that's money. And see, I could buy more with less and benefit, maybe from a 70 delta, right? Or a 60-something delta. I'll take that, right? Or in this case, you have a hard bounce when it's one of them rip your face off rallies because the market kind of oversold. That's when your delta shoots up above 100, right? You be at like 140 delta. That's basically what's happening right now. I'm sitting on my delta here. My delta right now is sitting at 127, right? And that's still way out the money. I still got about 7 points out the money or 6 points out the money now.
I can't see the delta on mine. I'm looking. I'm on Rock. I had got for the same day. I got the QQQs, the 364 calls at 55 cents. I'm sitting at $1 now. But I don't see the. I was looking for the delta. I don't see the. I see the. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's at 0.133. Yeah, 0.133.
Show it probably gonna. No, it's messing up. But yeah, because you could track it on, on Yahoo, because move some of that, like trying to find those different sites. But TD good for that anyway, because you definitely know about TD. But you track that delta, obviously through that regards in terms of you buying it, because you're looking at it as well before you get into it, right? That transit value, that's people loading it up, because that means they add more fuel to it. They haven't really kind of saturated that strike quite yet. So the deltas are holding value. You know what I'm saying? For the fact that it was more put centric, and now people going, if they start cashing those puts, and of course they're just taking private because they get ready to bounce. Then that intrinsic value start building for the call side now, because now you're finna have that pendulum swing, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? That retrace or that bounce. Of course we talked about it in that regard, but so I think right now, like I say, just playing it off that bounce, like the 420. Of course, I didn't catch the 420. I got the 421s though. And then I just caught it, back inside of the top side of the cup at the 425 mark. That was a kind of a good little, in my opinion, a good risk versus reward. And it's essentially right at the 20 moving average. You see what I'm saying? So we using the moving average as our advantage too. Right. So you crossing over, you close above it, because my little rule, right? I need that 5 minute, candle to close above it, or 5 1 minute candles to close above it. If not, it's gonna be a fake out. So, of course, it's on the 5 minute chart. It did just that. It closed above it. It closed up in the 525s. It pulled back. When it pulled back down here, then that 424, near 425, that's when I bought, the other contracts, right? The others. Because at that point, now we got a little bit of a what? They call that the inside bar, right? You know what I'm saying? You kind of crowbar your way back to the upside. And essentially, that's what happened here. Of course, you see it stretched out, overtook the VWAP, churned at the VWAP, built support there, banged out, came back, tested it actually very nicely. Of course, in your case, over my keys, you definitely can tell the feeling what that is when you put that the order block on it, right? That back testing perspective there kind of came back, tested there, and that's your straight line too. Look at here, ping here, ping, 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 ping. So a lot of strength, at that point of the bar, and the rest is just kind of what it kind of stretched out, on the back end of the day. For people that want to feel like the bleeding has to stop, right? Because we've been on a constant sell-off for the past 6-7 days. All the round for the SPY, but not outside the norm that it could happen. You know what I'm saying? So, and the candles got bigger as the days progressed. You know what I'm saying? As the days, meaning more days progressed. And this one, it culminated to this day, which is the biggest, right? Because look at the length of that candle. That candle was red today, guys. It was literally red, right? And now it's it's fighting to stay green. It's fighting. It's fighting. But that's money to be made also on a hard pivot. And that's all I'm doing. I'm doing the rules of engagement. Close out a lot of the puts I had. Got a couple of them still out there working. And now I'm just playing back to the upside.
That's a shooting star.
Which one? Talking about this calendar here?
Yeah.
It's still working now, but if you want to liken it to that, potentially what it would look like, it would kind of have that kind of connotation. You know what I'm saying? Because even when it flatlined like right at that 431, like I guess you want to call it 431, 432 would have been right kind of at the kind of cross side of it like that. It would have kind of been emblematic of that, what a perspective of a shooting star would look like, right? So looks really good. Like I said, at this point, the volume is picking up in terms of the buying. Because look at your volume here. Now that was a total day here, 202. Of course, we always back test volume by going to the what's our favorite go-to website? We go right on over to who?
Wikipedia.
Yep. Or in case when we checking flow charts, when we want to check the flow charts.
Bar chart.
Bar chart.
Barchart.com, by Barchart 99, boy, they get it in over there, boy. They get you right. They get you right. So let's go.
My spot put was like at $7 in the green, and I was like, I'm gonna leave it. I think it's gonna come down some more. So I left it. It's in there. Let's see.
That bounce was legendary. So you already know the put call ratio finna be off the map right now. Look at that. Now you about see. I guarantee that call volume, all this 983 contracts on the backside of the day, that happened probably in the last hour and a half.
Hey,
it came back. It's not showing.
Yeah.
Hot dog, my bad. Hold up. Y'all can see my chart. It's not showing, guys. Let me see. Is it not showing?
It's showing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is it?
It could be me. I'm sorry.
You probably a lag. You know how to still go internet. You know, we blowing up the internet today. You know how it go, Brandon. We're gonna blow the brakes off this thing today, boy. We're gonna find this money. And look at the put open interest. See, it's about net to net now, because that came into the day. See what I'm saying? So that lets you know, coming in today, there was kind of, about net to net almost, right? And so a lot of calls that was bought on the back end of the day for that reason of the rally. So they're front running. Now, interesting, these are the ones that, people who are flipping it for the day, because this contract expires today. Now let's go see exactly what that 26 contract looked like. This is why I was buying that 440. I'm just, putting it out there for transparency. Because right now the SPY ripping, right? So right now, yeah, that position up, now it's banging. Now I'm up like $650 on that. Yeah, I'm up like $650 right now. Right? That's good money. I didn't crash today anyway. I ain't, I'm humble.
I know that's right.
I'm humble because I whooped the brakes off all my puts. That's when I killed it on them puts. Just coming out the back of that Netflix banger too. So that the energy is still. So it's SPY ripping. We at the 435 right now. I'm up near 800. Just quick. It's flipping. So we know when it happens. When that's happening, that means people doing what? Like we just talked about, they buying a lot of what? Calls. Right? They buying calls now. That's how they play the SPY, right? It's not like people go out and buy real shares besides like big money people. Most people like us buy what? The derivatives. We buying it. We buying the calls, right? So you see the calls already flipping right now on the what? On the put side. And I guarantee again, majority of those calls that are now overtaking the puts, they were bought in the last hour and a half. I can almost guarantee it, right? And I can go to, of course, Black Box and see that, right? Because, it's giving you real-time sweeps and blocks coming through on there. And same way, open interest coming in today, it was about net to net, saying how it was like on today. So that means these people who are front running the market now for the inevitable bounce, because the market just became too oversold. 5 days of straight selling, culminated on the biggest drop today, meaning the biggest bearish and over candle. Yeah, they'll play a pivot. So we're up to 435.60 right now. So the market is trying to they just ripping off the extent of just being highly oversold. So just case in point, real quick, I don't want to get too wordy here, but the strength of why I bought the 440. See right here, the make sure I'm in the call. Yeah, I'm in the calls. See the 440s right here. Where we at? God, dog, come on, brother. Let me blow my chart up too, so that way it look bigger. Them 440 right there. Look at the money that came in today, Oba. You see him right there, Oba Marquis?
Oh no, my bad. I was exiting out of this trade.
Oh, you good? You making money. You know how we work. Anytime, go handle business.
All right, I'm good. Yeah.
But and it's been built, I'm pretty sure, before that. But when I got into them, it was around about like 10 to 20, 12, maybe 15,000. And so it is almost doubled since that time. So they're doing just that. They think they went and checked the delta, they checked, all that stuff like that, and the bounce in that regard. And then the way I did it, because I just used a very, 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 very simple metric. The previous candle was 436.50, closed at the low. The high of that was like 448. So I just split the difference like I always do. You know my mentality. I'm gonna split that difference. That puts me right around about $8 to the upside, or somewhere around that value, that middle of that perspective. It's like 10 points, somewhere about 10 points. So within that, you coming in the middle around about maybe like 440, 441, and market love whole numbers. And so that was my buy value. Right. So right now it's just they still flipping it. They still flipping the brakes off. So, we'll see how the market fares. Right. You see how the market fares out into tomorrow. Because if you have another rally tomorrow, if for the 5th, we all be drunk, of course. But if we do, chances are we go sideways and maybe up a little bit to maybe overtake that 437.50, resistance, that'd be great. If they can eclipse that 437.50, then possibility they can maybe try it at 440 before Wednesday, right? And even at the point where y'all have a little theta degradation by tomorrow, if the market stays more fighting to try to stay relevant as opposed to just pulling back hard and killing premium. Because either way, I can cash out. I'll cash out. Because I told myself, if we go to 437 tonight, then I'm gonna cash out, right? Because it's trying to do it. It's like it's sitting at 436 right now. This when the market, the big money, this is when they play the back end of the market, right? They'll just come in and load the boat the front run for tomorrow, right? That's one of my strategies. I buy SPY calls and puts all the time about the last 5-10 minutes of the market all the time. Why? Because I have the best risk mitigation going into the end of the day, right? Contracts are closed at 4 o'clock. I don't have to worry about nothing but after hour foolishness, right? Right. But
that's why I also love the strategy that I use too, as far as buying splitting the contracts, and then just taking profit on one when it hit that first profit point. That's what I just did now, and letting the other one just ride.
Let it keep riding.
That's
See, Jiggle alert the hard way, boy. You don't have to close everything out when you got money. You keep making money. That's like, man, look.
It automatically just switches your whole psychology up.
It does
the whole thing up that quick.
It does. It's just like what they call it, like taking partials. Kind of like taking partial. I'm taking partial. Right, keep ringing, and they go Tesla back above 900. Right, of course I got Tesla calls. Right, I got some Tesla, what they call lotto calls in the earning. Well, guess when I bought them Tesla lotto calls, soon as things start bouncing around 860, 870, I'm in. I use that same thesis. I see us cross the board that 20-day moving average. No hesitation on my part. We're just being transparent. Of course, y'all know I post that junk in the group when I get a chance. But I definitely want to play some of that, because one thing I can say on a fundamental side, Tesla numbers should be, that don't necessarily the market gonna honor them a big breakout, because they will sell off. But for the most part, I'm just front running the numbers into earnings. So all I need is to get anywhere near 929.30, right? Anywhere over 929.30 into tomorrow, into Wednesday's number, and I'll take profit. I'm not gonna sit there and try to guess Tesla at that point, because right now that position is up substantial, because I bought it right at that 860, 860, well, about 865, 866 area, right when you get ready to cross above this, the 20-day moving average here, right? So that was my confirmation there. I just got me a little lotto play because it's trading in correlation to the SPY. Y'all know how this stuff go. When the broader markets are kind of putting everybody on their back. It's kind of like that kind of rally, right? The market put everybody on his back, right? And now it's just riding, it's kind of riding up. So, that little position is up nicely here, so yeah, we got some nice little bounce plays. We eating, we eating now. So again, we ate to the downside on the swing trades, and now we eating to the upside pretty much on the bounce plays, right? So that's what we talk about when we say, you got to play both sides of the market, or you don't have to, but it's good to learn to. Let me repeat, it's good to learn how to trade both sides of the market, right? So again, just on that perspective, up very nicely. Probably about, I think I'm up around maybe like about 2,800 right now on the day, and I locked in over half of that. Yeah. So, and then this SPY, when they SPY and this Tesla keep banging, I mean, it's probably a little over 3,000. I'm being modest, but in that regard, of course, it's just strategic planning. That's all it is. Because a lot of these places
kill it over.
And we trying, we come from that. We got to grind it. We got to get it when the getting is good, because we born for this. We came from this. Oh, Mark, you definitely know. Oh, Brandon, y'all know how to still go. We born in this and momentum trading, because we were all like, we want to be that Ross Cameron trader back in the day. So we realized the power then when volatility opens up, that's when traders make their money. Truth be told, what I'm saying?
And learning from your mistakes is just so important. I mean, I want to, and recognizing your strengths and your weaknesses. That's why I thank you so much for introducing us to Mark Douglas, and
man, this, we kind of joy this group.
Yeah, Anton Creel, what I'm saying?
That's my man there, boy. Anton.
Reinforce those things that you need to definitely have worked on and be humbled on and really understand, because I realize one of my strengths is that I knew how to find naturally. I knew how to find myself on the right side of a trade, but I just didn't have good risk management. I wouldn't take money off the table.
Gotcha.
You know,
We all
high
struggle.
phone
That's the one
fly.
that everybody struggle with. You know, in the beginning. I mean, how long you been in? Because we've been well over 5+ years. It's like, but it's the one thing about money. And so, like you said, that's why those guys really help, because they're seasoned. They understand the power of that. You lock that money in, like Antoine Creel beats across the head about making poor decisions, right? Mark Douglas just come up and clean your whole game up. Like Mark Douglas take you off the streets, literally, and clean you up. Like you're a hobo or a bum until you get Mark Douglas in your life, right? He clean your whole strategy up, right?
You say you a hobo and a bum?
You're a hobo and a bum until you get Mark Douglas in your life, because he come in and give you a whole new different perspective about how this stuff really works. Because it's easy to fall into dive of temptation, just let overstay your welcome in a trade when you know you should have locked in the profits. You know what I'm saying?
Check out Chamber Energy, CEI. It looks like a put. It looks like the puts are about to.
Say again.
CEI, Chamber Energy.
You talking about a stock? Oh no, again, what is it? I'm sorry.
CEI, Chamber Energy.
Oh, you talking about the little? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's that little thing. But how much the thing now? I think probably still sitting at about what, 30 cents. What it is now? It's over $1.
So let me see. It's 52 cents right now.
Yeah,
but
I know
it's got a high volume for the puts. Looks like.
Yeah, I forgot they got them contracts at that one too, because that's an oil play. Well, it's an energy play, but it's the same thing, oil play. So right now they're
that's for those who want to spend a little less, because I can't get a $7,000 spy contract.
No. Again, it's bouncing like everything. Like I said, this is a broader market bounce. So when you have broader market bounces, like you said, of course, you live with a contract and a stock that's under $1, you either gonna get a $0.50 or a whole dollar, right? So they may have a 50-cent strike. I'm not sure. I have to go look, but if not, you may add a $1 one. Of course, if you already seen it, you'll know better than me. But
no, exactly. That's exactly what I saw there. The $1 one, like you said.
Yep, it's either gonna be the $1 or the $1.50 in that regard. Depends on where it's at. So Camber, obviously, it's just another energy play that's destined to bounce because the broader oil market side of things, right? Or just energy as a whole. But Camber ain't no stranger to us, right? We definitely know Camber from time, definitely time in the game. And so look at that bounce again. It did the same thing SP 500 did. It's bouncing the correlation. So straight up off this 47 cents area, right in the 52, right? So a lot of people like, man, ain't a lot of money. That's a lot of money, guys, for a stock this cheap, right? Because you get more for less, right? So you talk about, a 5-cent move in a stock like this, that's a lot of money. Like again, if you got like 10,000 shares or 100,000 shares, you do that time what 0.05, like it's that kind of reality. Then again, the value that you could buy the options, like she's speaking about, of course, they do actually have options for this stock at this price, so it's interesting in that regard that you can take advantage, do a little some strange for a little piece of chain, right? We talk about that for a reason, right?
Yeah, that's around around a 10% gain in the price.
Yeah, roughly around about 10%. And of course, you magnify that time 100, and then time that multiple that time the different contract you could buy at that cheap price. You got your nice little meal.
I'm telling you. And another thing too, Oba, was what I found to be, just beautiful is how when you're using the right type of money management, how you can take away those fears, taking those losses. Like when you take a loss, you lose on a contract, but then you on these contracts, you're doing the right money management. After 3-4 trades, you're gonna surpass that loss like it wasn't even there.
Right.
Those losses just disappear when you're doing it right. Just how they can magnify if you're doing it wrong.
Facts. And I tell people that's exactly why I focus on people strengthening out their weaknesses. Look, see, consistency is the game. You need conviction, right? You need conviction wins. Conviction wins make you feel good about your research methodology. It makes it force you to be better and want to be better at it. You go a little further once you realize how you can string along a few victories, right? And you did it in a value where you stayed within the confines of what you can account for. That's next level in this, because eventually over time, what's going to happen is your lot size is going to increase that with your conviction size. Therefore, your money is going to grow,
and vice versa.
and vice versa. Because we used to be excited about just making $100 a day. Right? We came from that day trade. Oh, we make $100 a day. I'm doing it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually it grows because your lot size will increase. Therefore, you may do 2 that next day, 250, or just as you progress, I should say. And so that's what this is all about, guys. That's what I tell people, man. You'd be surprised, man. If you stick to that value of being disciplined and staying within again in your lane, so to speak, your lot size is going to increase with your conviction. Your money going to come. As I say, that's why you never watch your P&L when you're trading a strategy. Why? Because it'll shake you out the trade. You sitting there, cop blocking your own money. Like, stop.
That's sometimes I just look away, just do something else on purpose. Let me go over here and I got this stuff, so let me do something else. I was listening to Mark Douglas. I listen to him every morning before I trade. I was listening to him this morning. He was talking about, just how you need to stop looking at your trades as individual trades and look at them in series of trades, say series of 5s or 10s. Because if you have some, certain move that you look at, certain setup, and it has a certain percentage of win or loss, that only applies over a series, not just every individual trade.
Right, not each individual trade. Facts. So totally true. And again, it helps you to map things out better in that perspective when you realize that too. Because again, you realize that it's you stringing along a series or a succession or a series of different profitable trades, right? Or the idea that you can be profitable in these trades by again, not overshooting or again, looking for the fence, so to speak. You just want to, okay, if it's 5% here, if it's 10%, like we just talked about this little CIE trade, same reality. This ain't in bounce, off that 46 cents there, and it's up to 55 right now, going to 56. Now, but interesting, when you back the chart out, look right here. You got a flat top breakout here at around about 40, 42, 45, 47. Of course, it was highly oversold, right? And guess what's happening? Energy stocks are still banging. Oil is still banging, right? Oil is still, whatever. So, and it's still ripping. Look at it, 56 now. I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up, right? Since we've been talking, it already went up another 4 cents. That's a lot of money for a stock trading at 52 cents. How many shares you can get with that, with a rack, right? And that 4 cents is that's per share, of course. That's banging. That's banging money. See, it's all relative to how you look at it. It's about to be 57, but it ripping this little stock. But that's the part about this game that makes it like, look at that. See that? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that thing just squeezed up on that last bar. The combination of that from 53 all the way up here. Just straight up.
Skirt.
Now, Sister Angie, if she bought that little contract, look how he is clicking right now. How he is clicking right now, but I got him.
Yeah, I got a couple of the calls from before.
Oh, you got some swings.
I don't think I had it from before, some calls, but I was looking also, that's going to, look how straight up that is. Looks like it's going to reverse too.
Well, it's just a parabolic culmination of the move that it made off its low. And it's doing just I just said before, when you back the chart out, you see how it was kind of at a point of a nexus point on the chart, right? It would do for a bounce, and it's playing the energy of the SPY as a sage to help it, right? Because sometimes market timing is great too, right? And everything, all the stars align and all that, it happens sometimes. It ain't our fault, right? It ain't my fault. And you in the right place at the right time. Yeah. Look at it, and it's still squeezing.
Yeah, we just went past the
1.54. It's not in the green yet.
Yeah, well, I ain't look at the SPY. We're at the SPY. Where we at in the SPY right now? We are there 430. See, we didn't pay 430. So I need to be cashing out right now, but I know. See, messing with y'all. See up here messing with y'all. I'm up about 1,000. I know I'm up 1,000 now. I got to be up 1,000 because I was sitting right at right at 1,000.
The excitement, they excited right now. This
it's like they couldn't wait to get what they call. I forgot what they call it. So you couldn't wait to get. They ain't probably gonna show that camera there. I went and bought this new camera. This old 4K camera. It ain't. I need to. I thought I got spoiled. I got a little grown. Hopefully I got grown when I bought the 4K camera. I don't even know how to use the thing.
Yeah. They gotta wait.
You didn't fix that camera yet? Not yet. See, I'm up. You can see, right? You see a 4 digit right there. You can see it. But it's up $1,000. I told you that little 4 contracts, a transparent 440 call. I bought them strategically, just like I said. So that little play up $1,000. So I'm definitely up near like 4,000 on the day right now. All right, and you know we'll see.
About.
12, it's still ripping. I'm up 1,200 now on that little contract alone. Well, them contract, it's up 1,200. So yeah, so you know that's all the part about the Delta. Like, Delta sitting at 186. This is what I'll be talking about. The Delta's at 186. The Delta's at 186. That means you don't want to get like that. And when you get the doubling up like that, that's when that money, you know, y'all know how this stuff go. It go parabolic.
Everything. I see Bitcoin popping too, made a little 10% pop on Bitcoin Cash. My alert just pop up.
Yep. It's ripping now. We at 439.
You got the dollar moving down, you know, kind of, you know, pulling back off a daily order block.
Yeah, and because the dollar surged again, I think I'm not gonna say that, but it was obvious they allowed the dollar to rip hard early. Because you know, if you watch the dollar doing pre-market, I was watching doing pre-market across the futures throughout the night, and it ripped early. I said, okay, if they rip it early, of course that's gonna put pressure on the equities, whatever. So if they got a block to fill, like an order block to fill, they're gonna hit that block today. Because it's a combination of what the succession of down days we had leading up to today. So today was going to be the day of all days, and we're going to hit a point of support and bounce. It had to be today, right? Because now we're sitting at the RSI and pretty much on all the oscillators, histograms, all that stuff was at a point where the rubber band effect has taken place. Like in your case, over Brandon, we talk about what the Bollinger Bands, right? That bottom band was stretched, right? It's time to bounce.
Nope.
You know, at this point, so rules of engagement tell you instantly you got to play that pivot. Again, whenever it happens or begin to kind of, you know, give the signals that it's getting ready to make that move, you got to be able to play it at that moment because it's going to give you, if nothing else, you get a short-term relief rally or at least a pop, or you're going to get that extended, right? So strategically, if you notice how they closed the market out last week, Friday, they sold off on the back end of the day, right? They did it actually like 2 days in a row like that. The 2 days, they just sold off on the back end of the day. So that was the algos and the institution planning how to what? You know, lead retail stuck holding the bag, thinking it was going to what? You know, go back up. So it hooked them. This time they played it different. They did the hard gap down early in the day, made it, you know, put the pain on retail early, right? Forced them to make a capitulation decision. And then when they had the order block, you know, area set, which they did, of course, 420 was not hard to see, right? You can see the chart, it was at a 420, right? Pivot there, clear as day. You know, I just wait and see if they're gonna take it. And they did, you know, they got it close enough. And then in came that that bounce, right? You had that 1 5-minute kind of straight like that, and it got about like 421.47, 421.27. I bought, right? I was like, I'm buying right here. Nothing else. I'm definitely, I gotta buy, right? So I add a couple of them there, and then so I'm gonna wait, right? And then of course 425. But that's all it is, just being strategic, guys. Y'all know this stuff more than anybody, right? I'm talking to my peers here, but a lot of people who knew this is us kind of trading the market in real time. Basically, we're just chasing money. Now, when I say chasing, that don't necessarily mean from a non-educational purpose. That means we following it, the base of it by option flow chart, by way of level 2, but by way of oscillators and indicators like that, squeeze momentum. I mean, all these little things kind of make up the greater good of that. Support points, right? Support pivot points. 420 was obvious because it was a point on the chart where you seen it was support around there. So all that again culminates into that's your risk profile. I can deal with that risk profile under those rules, right? And the rest is just what seeing if they're gonna if they're gonna honor that balance. Delta just hit 190. Yeah, they people wilding.
On Monday.
On a Monday, you got a Delta sitting at 190 on the SP 500, and it's obvious because it's a slingshot, right? Because 420 to all the way up to like nearly 440. That's a 20-point swing. Right? We were down like 3 points. Like when I say 3 point, we were down like 3% on the day. Like 3.4 somewhere around at the biggest point, 350 somewhere, 3.5. That's a lot to overcome. These jokers turned this market green. Barely, right? The sister me, can you see? Barely, right? She like, you see, barely green. But they turned it, and so now we up 0.19%. So for them, they need to close green in order to keep the what? Potential momentum going. If they give any of this back before the bell, that's gonna solve a lot of these retail dip buy because they don't want to get trapped like they got caught the last couple days. So they hoping big money hold. I think big money gonna hold. Why? Because they greedy too. They just saw Netflix go to 340 something, 350 from from it dropped from earnings. It was already down like 340, 350, right? They greedy. They want that bounce. right? They want the ash, right? They want to eat the feet. They want that bacon. So these are just those moments what we talk about. Again, hard relief rallies come, opportunities, present themselves. Okay, bada bing, bada bung, we in there, right? We'll take it. And again, and it's still a lot of companies that got earnings like look at Tesla. Tesla already up near 930. I told you 930 is my window, 929.30.
Look at Microsoft.
Microsoft ripping, right? A lot of them big tilt like that. This joker already up to 930, right? It's already up to 930, right? Like, couldn't make this stuff up. Look at him. Greedy, but they greedy, boy. I'm just boy Wall Street, greedy, right? Greedy. I don't even want to look at that contract right now. I'm ripping now, but I'm up like about. I am, I'm doing it real time with y'all. Know we do, man. We have fun doing it, but we modest and humble, but that's what we do. We try to discuss opportunity, and those call bounces, all of them that I bought are banging. So I had 2 calls in Tesla. Well, I bought them in different accounts. So I bought one in Robinhood. It's up about 100%. So that's about $200, $300 on that one. Then I bought another one in Tasteworks. So all of them up right now. Of course, if the momentum closes strong and we have any kind of after hour, just kind of let's go sideways after hour. That'd be great, right? That'll really put some training wheels on it. Yeah, and the one I got in Tasteworks, it's up substantial. It's banging. So yeah, again, just playing a pivot. Now all these were what they call short reversals, right? Because I was shorting majority of that stuff, and I played the pivot. I bought the pivot, when it bounced, of course, and the rest is history. So yeah, man, just crazy. And we still they're gonna run it into the close. Why? Because we sold off into the close Friday. Y'all remember? Mm-hmm. The market literally closed on the lows. But when that happens, this is them mad. See, Wall Street mad right now. You see markets moving like this here, they mad. Just be honest, y'all know what I'm saying. These people mad. Right?
Oh, well, they big mad.
They big mad. They big mad because
smashing that button.
I'm talking about it's like revenge trading in the worst way, right? Because they know that they could brag over the weekend. All of them were home, licking their soul. They were stuck with pillows over their head. They were mad. Market beat them up a little bit, right? And for me, we were still happy. We made money. We crushed it, right? But some of these guys, like I say, these perma bulls, like this is their get back. So they revenge trading right now, hard, boy. They smashing that, but they be like, hit that like button. They doing on that buy button right now. They smashing that buy button. Well, they even let this day go to pass or go to waste. And yeah, 1 minute hit before the bell, guys, if that. And 1 minute hit before the bell. So if you have any kind of valuable pullback, it's going to happen right now at this point here because again, some people got to close out their trade because they don't have swing trade available, so they got to close all their positions before the bell. Some of these fund manager scenarios like that have day trading desks. But as you see, they buying the dip. They just buying that dip. And there you go. They turned just like that. Shook those little guys out, gave them a little walking paper. Like, good, thank y'all for riding express, right? We got it from here, boss. Right back on up. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Squeezing into the close here. Literally a few seconds here before the bell. There it is, 4 o'clock. There we go. There you go. There's your bell, guys. Right, there is your bell for the day. So there you go, guys. An awesome market here. How we closed out strong on a hard bounce. I'm talking about a hard bounce, but let's go see the spy real quick here. Hard bounce, but that counter that probably look like a Roman candle right now. I can only imagine. Your Roman candle fireworks down. Let me see what it looked like here. And for the record, I didn't close it out too, so I sat through it with y'all. So if I lose all money tomorrow, y'all gonna loan me 50 cents. Give me 50 cents to my cash. Yeah, I'm gonna need pain and suffering. Oh, pain and suffering. But yeah, see, close strong for over 439. So clearly we hit a high. So we did hit that 440. Like I see, there we go. There it is, 440.39 to be exact. 440.39.
Crazy.
Look at that rally there from 420 to 440. A whole 20 points. A whole 20 points. And a lot of people paper handed and sold and they did what they had to. But again, if you played the pivots right, that's all you had to do. Right? Just be patient, play the pivot. All right. We played the pivots successfully after riding it down, and then we reaped it on the backside. So clearly, beautiful day here all together. I'm up I'm gonna say around about, I just estimate about 6,100, given those Tesla calls and the SPY, and those what they call the back end, and then the ones I cleared out earlier from the swing trades. That'll be around about $6,100 a day. So super humble, super happy. You know, again, great day overall, and a lot of different. I mean, I had a lot of trades out there, a lot of trades, and the market again. Them days don't come like that all the time, so this a given. Same way with that Netflix hit. We'll take that drive-by on Netflix, but this is how you make your money, right? You make your money on moments like this when the markets are opening up and they're starting to expand, right? Volatility, as they call it. You have that expansion of volatility, right? So again, we live to fight another day, and we'll see what happens coming midweek with the Feds. If they take the market sideways tomorrow, let me see. We got 3 of them in the morning. That's a Dow component, so that may cause the market gonna move off 3M a little bit. The Dow, I think 3M got a big weight in the Dow too. I forgot the actual weight capacity of market value in it, but we'll see. But then you got Johnson, a few others. So they said you get more of a beat side on the big Dow side, that'll help markets, and into the other ones on the spider side, adverse if they don't have any kind of nasty sell-offs, that may keep the continuation in line. Because right now a lot of people are gonna swing calls into the 26th, right? That's the whole point about having that window up until the 26th with the SPY contracts that we're talking about open market. So I think they're gonna hold those. Why? Because I think that they're trying to establish front run the Feds. Basically, that's basically what they're doing.
Hey, but that's 3.3% on the
That's 3.3% pivot.
No. Wait value for 3M tomorrow.
Or to tomorrow, or for 3M. For 3M.
Yeah, 3M.
So yeah, so that's a good chunk. You know what I'm saying? Because we talking about third of America's greatest Dow stock, industrial strong companies like that, right? So it's a good little weighted value in that. And there's some others I forgot what Johnson is, but again, just that melting pot of NASDAQ, spiders, and Dow components, in the beginning of this kind of cycle this week, when you had that kind of mix up like that, it may balance out the market. So one kind of wet the bed, the other one might have a little strength. So I'm saying prop the market up. So I'll be waiting to see how that turns out. So at the end of the day, see right there, look at that. Is it showing my screen or it's not? Sorry, I wanted to show y'all the flow chart, how we closed out, because I'll be watching that flow chart where I make a lot of my decisions based on the flow chart throughout the day, and I backtrack it sometimes through black box in real time to see how the blocks coming in or the sweeps. But just showing you here how we ended out. See right there? I think that if we rewind this, we'll see what I forgot what it was when we first looked at it, but look at the calls came in on the back end of the day. They start flipping, like crazy flipping. And just for the sake of it, let's go look at that 440 strike. Right? Let's go see how it ended up, because we was around about 34,000 on the 440 strike early when we looked at it. Let's see where we at now. Look at that, 43,000 contracts. Additional another 10,000 plus contracts came in for the bell. There you go, right there. So yeah, and we hit the strike. Of course, we hit it. All right, I'm just greeting, but so that means it should hold pretty good intrinsic value throughout the day. Meaning tomorrow, of course, if you don't have anything to kind of snake the market tonight, it should hold a pretty good, decent intrinsic value, because people just start buying these contracts on the back end of the day, not the entire day. So that means the theta decay value didn't have a chance to kind of really, have its way. And the put percentage side of the market was more heavy than the call side anyway. So they're going to favor the call buyers after the put start selling, because they did it. They took profit. Most of them guys took profit. Heck, I did early on the ones I had swung. So it ain't hard to realize that at that point, the call buyers going to get favored on the back end of the day, which they did. They just drove the market higher. Dark pool drove the market higher. And then people who were just buying it with big money, institutions, whomever. All right, so there you go. 43,000 contracts closed out the SP 500 on the 26th expiration. Now, intraday, I'm pretty sure it was high too, because these people who closed out right at the bell, I guarantee them calls came through like gangbusters. people probably buying the SPY at probably at 346. 347, they're still buying calls, scapping that last little 12 minutes at the close. I've done that sometimes too. Let's see what it look like real quick. Yeah, look at that. They battled back. They battled back big time because the puts were kicking the calls behind. So they definitely bought the intraday calls on the backside of the market too and scalped them into the close, of course. If they was able to get out, successfully with some profit, which I'm sure they did if they played it right. Yeah, people feeling good about the market. That's another way to gauge investor sentiment right there. People put their money where their mouth's at, right? And that's essentially what happened. And then right now they're kind of holding up the market a little bit here. So that even that little stock that we were looking at for Sister Angie, that just went up to it went almost hit 60. It almost hit 60 cents. Couldn't make this stuff up. So everything had a reason to rally. It did it. It used this snapback, in the same way so people can get paid. So really quick here, I'm gonna look at that and we're here to wrap up in a second. Well,
just had to get that set up. That was a nice setup. I wish I would have.
Me too.
Some of those.
Came in like, just see, y'all told you. It made it look gold, man. And they would probably been dirt. They were dirt cheap too. And you could have made a killing. You could have bought like 100 contracts or 50 contracts, something like that. And just to squeeze along, you would have killed it, right? That's when the premium really shoot up in your favor. That's when that delta expand quickly. When you have a big move real fast like that, that's when you make a ton of money in option like that little move. So yeah, really solid. And again, it's playing off of old support pivot from way back. We're talking about going back to like last year. It had around that 45 point at $20. The 20 moving out flat top area there where it broke out, and you came all the way back tested it. So you kind of liquidated all that euphoria. Of course, you cleaned all these guys out, and now you got new money coming back in, and you was like highly oversold right here. So yeah, we'll see how big this pivot, if it lasts, if it does, hey, you might get another little bump on this, right? Because your next moving average of interest is going to be at that 66 cents. Yeah, 66, and then you have 79 or 80. So 9 moving average on the daily, and then the 20 moving average on the daily. So 66 and 79 or 80 cents will be a target, maybe a couple weeks, a week or so, maybe, whatever. We'll see. Now I hit 59. Look, it's still squeezing. Man, let me get off this little penny stock so I go buy some real shares with it. All right, let me go crank the weed bull up and buy me some shit. Let me leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. But that's it, guys. So what's going on, brother Dollar Will? Man, I'm just not seeing the back chat. Man, what's going on, Dollar Will? Man, it's been a minute. Peace, power, profit over Dollar Will in the building. Shout out to Dollar Will. Right, again, guys, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. Got wealth of knowledge. Definitely one of the family members in the building here. So, yeah, just sitting there going over this market. What's going on, Sister Tamika? Tamika in the building too. Just not seeing some of these bad chats, guys. Forgive me. Again, I was over here. Y'all know I did working. So again, happy to see y'all in the house as always. Peace, power, property, guys, on this Monday, manic Monday. That's the best way to, I guess, to put it, right? All right, so shout out to Dollar Will, shout out to Tamika. Everybody's been tuning in because Oba Dollar Will, IO are in the building as well. Oba Sunline is always happy to have him in the house, right? Always happy to have him here. And everybody else that's been tuning in, Oba Rich, Brother Divine, Brother Mathis, Brother P Smooth, right? Who else we had to build? And shucks, everybody that was coming through that I might have missed. So family be humble, right? Brother Ramirez, Seven Heavens. Right, and everybody that came on the panel today, that kept, help keep the people mind, strategically where it needs to be, right, and focusing on strategy and opportunity as opposed to panicking, right. So as we say, don't panic, it's organic, right. I repeat, don't panic, it's organic. Let it happen, and then benefit from it later, right. Benefit from it, right. Devise a strategy or plan around it, and then go get paid. Right, that's what we do. Right, we're battle tested. We built for this, and we're opportunistic. Right, so that's first and foremost. Right, we're opportunistic traders in that regard, and investors too. Of course, don't get it. Misconstrued. We do both, and so this was a great moment that we was able to share. Kind of help bring some relevancy to the markets today. Right, so shout out to everybody who participated. Again, you know, we hope you guys got something from it. We like to have you here again when we go live. Don't hesitate to come hang out with us. You know, definitely subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. You know, of course, share it. You know, if you got somebody that may could benefit from this information to help them calm their mind, you know, they're trading, help them with their trading thesis, whatever. You know, we're definitely here for that. All right. So yeah, so guys, I'm gonna get ready to get off here. You know, we want to come in and, you know, do what they call our search and destroy. And we did that, and we closed the market out, you know, profitable, of course, but more so just, you know, being able to kind of see exactly in real time how money works and how money flips. So when people, you know, kind of dare challenge you guys when y'all speaking to them about, you know, this great profession that you partake in every day, and they can't realize that when you tell people, you know, the kind of money that's available to be made in this, or the level of money that comes into this, I mean, it blow their socks off. They really understood it, you know, but you see it every day. So yeah, they might want to start paying attention to y'all, right? They might want to start listening, right? Because y'all doing something that's very extraordinary that most people shy away from and run from. Right. So kudos to everybody who take a chance on themselves. That's what this is all about, right? Entrepreneurship at the highest level. That's what this is. Putting your money to work for you. No void of a middleman. Get excited for that. All right. So shout out to you guys. A round of applause for everybody. So I need to get some sound effects. I'm getting there. Right. I'm building my setup up little bit by little bit. We'll have some of those in a minute, but other than this, we got some work. We got some tunes and else, right? You got some tunes, right? So let's play some of that inflation heat, right? Let's bump some of that inflation heat almost when we're out the door.
Yeah. Ow! Yeah. Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore. Just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids. And for their kids, it's kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big. Jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big. The only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live. I gotta do it big. I gotta do it big. I gotta do it big. Gotta do it big, that's the only way to live. Gotta do it big. I gotta do it big. I gotta do it big. Gotta do it big. That's the only way to live. Come on. Yeah, come on.
Right, that's it, guys. We got to do it big, and big for us is just getting more education, right? Because the more education you get, the more opportunity you'll be able to, expand in the markets. So that's what this is all about. So just make sure you always put your education ahead of your emotions, right, and ahead of your money. So that way, at least it has a purpose, right? So shout out to everybody who came through and tuned in. We appreciate you all. We're welcome to have you back again when we go live. Hopefully we get a chance to go it again tomorrow, because we still got a lot of stuff to do for us, our training, our one-on-one. So stay tuned to that. We still got to get around to a lot of people. So of course we haven't got to yet. We coming. So we'll make sure we get that taken care of as well. And that's it. So I'm gonna get ready to close out. So last words for the family here on the panel here. I know Oba Chris was probably getting in. He busy. I don't know if he's able to open up, maybe leave us with some last parting words. Let's see, Oba Chris, he probably busy. Sister Angie, I don't know if you're able to open up and leave us some last parting words.
I'm happy with what's going on so far. That I just told my son, I've been making good choices. Like I definitely bought some longs to go beyond the tax return time. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm happy at the choices I made, even though I feel like I'm on a little disciplinary pause.
That's a good thing. You just measure your moment. That's a good thing. It's always good to measure your moment for a reason, but so shout out to you,
Gotta keep income coming in. Like you said, it's a job now. It's a job. Well,
That's
thank
it.
you so much. Thanks to all of you. Brandon and Chris and Sunny. I really appreciate all the input y'all give me. Thanks.
We thank you. We thank you,
Of
Eva.
course you
And we appreciate you because again, you bring a wealth of knowledge to us as well. So
thank you.
we thank you. We thank you. And the beautiful babies in the back there, we hear them. All right. Awesome.
Honored.
Albert Brandon, last words. You want to close out with anything, Albert Brandon?
Stay patient, stay diligent, stay watching these markets, and stay practicing. That's all you can do right now. If you're not fully funded or if you feel like you're not ready just yet, it's still up there. It still needs to come down a little bit more. So you still got more time to prep and get yourself fixed and ready. So don't worry about rushing. Just learn the information. That's it.
Facts, right? Because they say the facts of life, right? Experience is the best teacher, and natural observation is always keen, right? For those who are curious in the right way, right? Because you learn a lot. So 100% right in that regard, guys. Just be patient with this opportunity. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Those are some of what we use here. We say that for a reason. It is a marathon, not a sprint. These stocks ain't going nowhere, right? Hopefully they get cheaper and give you a good discount. It'd be, if you've been waiting to get in on some of these, these bangers and flyers. And so it is a game of patience, right? It's chess, not checkers, as we like to say. It's definitely chess, not checkers. We love it. That we got already, right? That's why it's some sound effect, because you can't rap through with it. See, it's symbiotic, right? We like mine, but woo, that 4D chess move, boy. Y'all might want to go look that one up. I know y'all probably, some of y'all know about it, but that 4D chess move, golden. It's golden. Today was another 4D chess move value off that pivot. Its psychology came in and meshed. Everything meshed at the right time. Money, mind, and matter. Of course, I guess money would be matter too, but y'all get it. It all meshed and the market bounced, and that's exactly what happened today. It was a 4D chess move value off that regard, where you had to have the patience, dealing with the pain, and now you get a chance to reap the gain if you just able to catch it. So shout out to Oba Brandon coming through, dropping jewels, as always, giving us that that gift in the game as well. So guys, take it and definitely add it to your armor, right? We say find your own niche, steal from everybody. That's what this is all about. All right. So Oba Marquise in the last partner words, Oba on the way out the door. In the last words, Oba Marquise. I don't know if you're able to, you might be busy right now. I know you handle business too.
Yeah, I just like to say, what I'm saying, I'd like to tell you, thank you, and I definitely appreciate you always for providing this platform, what I'm saying, for us to come here and learn, and this virtual village that we got here, and
it's all live. You know how I look at it. It's all live. But y'all got the keys and things to like news.
Exactly. That we got this virtual village that we got here where we can come together and just, be able to learn and what I'm saying, just trade our war stories and figure this thing out, what I'm saying, as a unit. And you just gotta want this. You just gotta want it bad enough. You gotta want it just as bad as a drowning person want a breath of fresh air. If you can get to that point, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Everything else will fall right in line for you. So that I like to just peace, power, profit. Precision, perseverance, patience. All of that. For the family out there. So just stay dangerous.
Facts.
Thanks, brother Marquis.
All powerful words, values to live by, because again, that's what we do. We are snipers, right? We are money snipers, right? But again, you give us $1, yeah, we're gonna make it. You're gonna make what is it right? Those listen, make it holler. We're gonna make that dollar holler.
Yeah, we like some arches, like the Magi,
Magi arches, boy,
like
arches up.
I think of the trading is like it's like an archer. You got to pull that bow back. You got to line it up.
You know about that long bow, but you know about that long bow. It's weird, because I'm a purveyor of the African arts and the cultures, and especially within the craftsmanship of the woodwork and the mask and all that. Because I sell this stuff too. So you guys still got the African specialty store. I rarely promote it, which I need to start doing. That's a problem of mine, because I'm more centric in trying to focus on what the business at hand is of the day, which is most of the markets. But for the most part, again, it's an extension of what we believe. So as you guys see behind me, I got several of them, but that's a authentic little Magi mask there. That's a handmade neck piece of a Magi. This came straight from Kenya, from the Magi warriors too. So I got Magi archer arrows, authentic arrows in my over here in my garage, in my supply inventory. So but yeah, of course you see the canes. That's the Magi right here.
Love it.
That took everything to the floor, but that's an authentic Magi cane right there. So you see that's the real deal.
That's hard.
That's authentic too. If I can see the look, man, this light messing it all up, but that's authentic handmade Magi archer. A cane, walking cane. So we got that. So we got stuff like that. And of course, the bus you always see behind me, that's the Makonde people. That's the actual pregnant woman bus. So pregnancy and baby birthing in Africa is very, very sacred, right? So that's a very important piece I had it there for a reason. So people like, man, well, you got some pornography back there? No, there ain't no pornography. Come on now. that's some real culture back there. That's some real deal culture. So of course, the all that. It's cool to get tars. I got all that stuff, man. Y'all know me. Like I said, I rarely promote it. I'm over here banking up stuff. But yeah, it's cool to get tar. This handmade. This real deal.
Oh wow!
Right. So that's 100%. It's cool to get tar, as you see here. Yeah, so all this stuff here, we got this stuff. So if you ever got the gourd, so you already know what that is. Calabas.
Yeah.
Right? So he's backstage before they see, they don't even know that we already had to get top before everybody even jumped off the port. We'd already had it. Already had it.
You can play some. You can play some music with that. Ain't hit somebody over the head with it.
But don't make me get in my little. Boy, I'm gonna get that djembe drum in the back, bro. I'm gonna have to give y'all some Al Green. Y'all, I'm ready for that Al Green. I'm gonna get that 8-track, the 8-track gritty hit guitar. It's cool to guitar. But yeah, we got all the kind of stuff. So I do carry this stuff, guys, with math. And I got all kind of stuff. I got some stuff from some of the deepest parts of Africa too. All handmade, all imported in, and it's at fair value. One of my oldest pieces, I have this piece right here. It's Iron Here collection. This piece is one of my oldest ones. This one here actually, this piece right here actually come out of the 1600s.
Wow!
And it's already been authenticated and praised. So you see right there, and she even got the price tag on it. So that means it's already been the praise.
That's a piece of history there.
Yeah, 1600 guys. We still got the original dirt on it and everything. So that ain't no cleaning this. You gotta leave all that dirt on that straight paste on dirt from Mother Earth there. Right?
Is that from Benin?
You know it. You see my greatest thing. Why I wear Ilba, right? For a reason, Oba and Ilba, right? Because that was one of the greatest kingdoms always in West Africa, was the Benin Kingdom, right? It was a metropolitan. And people don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with the fact that Africa had metropolitan orders than Jokers had when they was around here. I'll leave that alone. We reserved that
walls of Benin.
We had paved streets, all that stuff, wall streets, all that stuff, and just gonna act like just going around here, the lies that we were swinging in trees. We had, man, look, this stuff old before a lot of people even jumped off the port. So all up and down the continent, of course, y'all know that. I know I'm speaking to a lot of people already about the craft on that side. But yeah, we already, we were doing our thing. But yeah, so
big up. They just tied the Igbo people from Nigeria that that later became Nigerian. They just tied them in with the Haitians. So like through DNA. So it's a big move right there. That mask is gonna increase in value.
Well, again, just disconnect. They say go back and fetch it. Same Kofa, right? Go back and fetch it. It's there. We just got to make sure we respect the value of the line, right? Of the lineage, right? It's kind of like what they call doing technical analysis, right? Fundamental. You do the book research, And then the technical now, you go back and put it in to a location, right? And you start seeing, that demographic, or that swatch where we came out of certain areas, right? Enclaves and areas, right? And how we were, correlating in certain areas and pockets of whatever, up and down the coast, the Ivory Coast, the Gold Coast, all the way up towards, Mauritania, heck, even Morocco, of course, Dover, but Black nation before they became an Arabized nation, right? Bastardized Arabized nation. That's basically what it is. That's what the Berbers are basically. They bastardized, Arabized and African nation. And and history's extensive. Of course, y'all know that. We'll be on here for days going into that stuff. But we definitely can have that conversation because I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I took my DNA. It tripped me out. Every culture that I had a connection to, it ended up being in my DNA in significant amounts. I'm like, dang, it's crazy. I knew it. Like,
Again, I done took 3, and juxtaposing against each other, of course, and I did a lot of research before I even took them because I wanted to make sure, it wasn't just like, super commercial stuff. So I went to people who were more scientific centric and understanding the value of that, and they kind of putting those alleles together, right? MLIs and whatever, that kind of figuring out where we were, at multiple times in different places. So it's meant a little bit to kind of get a little understanding of that. So this stuff is exciting, and it's, maybe we'll do something like that. It's been a while since we even did a show like that. Even through the squad channels, typically at some point we was hitting those things real hard, like 2017, 2018. Those shows were like real big. And then stop talking about them, I guess.
Stop talking more about culture than religion. It's like can't get off religion or not. Every time
people still stuck in that now. So. Yeah, it's time to get off that porch a little bit. We kind of know what's going on with that at this point. It's obvious at this point, but that's just me. Of course, I'm trying to offend nobody, but with knowledge, you're supposed to gain and grow. And that way you don't get stuck. Take it to the next level. So so again, thank you guys for tuning in, man. So again, I start posting more of that stuff. So I got t-shirts, I got all that stuff, merch, all that stuff. Again, I rarely show it. So maybe I get in the habit of doing that. Maybe give some giveaway because we start doing the giveaways during COVID, and we're supposed to do another one. We stopped. Well, I guess I stopped because I moved. That's probably what it was. Eventually, I ended up moving. So, but we still got another giveaway to get because we blew past 2,000 subscribers. Now we're sitting at 3,000. So maybe we'll do I guess I don't know, even around them. Maybe we'll do another one here, giveaway shortly. So we'll give away some shirts or some merch. Again, just as a way of giving back. You know how this stuff goes. We appreciate everybody. So stay tuned for that. So we'll do something like that maybe coming up here, another giveaway. Right. So that's just an extension saying we appreciate the family. Right. Those who find this stuff interesting and the over coaster. I see you in the building, right? I see you guys in the back getting in. Bamalike. Okay, there you go. I see you over Rich. There you go. Got back there putting on them hats, boy. Putting on them goofies. I love it. I love it. All right, so that's it. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna get out of here, man. Hope y'all benefited from this build today. Hope it helped you, get through the markets. As it, again, we're dealing with a whole lot of, ambiguity. So, if it was helpful, we hope to continue to provide that extra layer of comfort for you, or just maybe insight. That way you don't have to figure this stuff out on your own. If not, if it's not necessary, I should say. All right, so that's it, guys. So I'll see you guys on the next one, guys. Peace, power, and profit. Shem Hotep, and hopefully we get a chance to go live maybe tomorrow. It depends. I got some errands, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so peace, everybody, guys. I'll see you on the next one, guys. So I guess we'll close out the same way we came in. We'll go out. What was the one that clutch? Yep, because they was a clutch day. So you're right, clutch Gene. Shout out over Chris and everybody over Brandon, so Dan, brother Marquise, and everybody in the back chat. So we'll go out on clutch. Peace, everybody. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Peace.
The bar raising, we keep moving it up. Ain't no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. I got faith restored, why you pushing the brakes? I ain't full of myself, boy, I'm full of mistakes. I came from humble and roots, I'm here to stand and deliver. Had no one gassing me up, except the man in the mirror. I used to work on my handles, and now it's handles of liquor. I write these songs in a dark room, the candle will flicker. I stay practicing heavy, for when the game's on the line. It's like over and over, I run the plays in my mind. I'm a psycho, I'm taking my time. Rushing perfection is a dangerous crime. You gotta give it and take it. That's what you do till you make it. I had to roll with the punches and take the hits from the flagrants. I'm saying the bar raising, we keep moving it up. And no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. An off game don't mean I'm losing my touch. And no excuses, I ain't using a crutch. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. I was falling, had me stalling. I was way down, now I'm balling. I done came up, and I called it. I done came in the clutch with the game on the line. I know I operate from a higher place. Wait, some decisions don't dry erase. I'm doing what I can to fuel the flame like a fireplace. To make a bunch of money, buy my mama a fireplace. We make incredible songs to celebrate and get mad lit. Once upon a time in Hollywood, I'm like Brad Pitt. My homies say I live a life, yeah, just a tad bit. Learning how to move in this rap shit. I told them that the bar raising, we keep moving it up. And no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. An off game don't mean I'm losing my touch. And no excuses, I ain't using a crutch. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. I was way down, now I'm balling. I done came up, and I called it. I done came in the clutch with the game on the line. I know.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in again. Peace, power, and profit. Shimotep. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace, everybody. Peace.